Good evening, folks. I'd like to welcome you all to Mr. Talcott's presentation on this Friday evening. We would like to bless you with our forgiveness. We forgive you, for you know not what you do. And we believe that you still love us, and you have a lot of love for us in our heart, in your heart. And we're going to bring Mr. Talcott up here, and he has said today that he would like to talk to each and every one of you personally. Come up, and he will give you forgiveness, just as I will. And maybe we can work together to create a better tomorrow. Mr. Talcott, here we go.
Well, good evening, brothers and sisters. God bless, and thank you for the intro. Tonight, what we're doing is opening up this panel. We're going to have discussions this evening about an important topic of forgiveness. Something we all need to learn and understand, and it's something that, well, many take for granted. You know, in this society we were born into, I remember my past. I remember what I've learned, but tonight we'll get into a little bit of that. And for those who are new, let me get back on track. For those who are new, welcome. And for those who are returning, good to see you again. And the link should be pinned for those who want to join. But tonight what we're going to do, Friday night, we're going to have discussions on forgiveness. And all I am is a man who cares about peace. I care about changing this world, creating a better world for all of us. For our world to change, I think forgiveness is a must, right? The world we all want, the world I think we all desire deep down, is a world without wars and a world without deaths, one without conflicts and chaos. But the truth is, that world, it's waiting for us. I remember the past. Let me get back to where I started. I remember my past and some of the brainwashing I've heard in this world we were born into. You know, it profits from deaths and chaos and sickness. And so I remember, you know, there's stories. Life happens. Life brings a lot of surprises to each of us. There's betrayals, there's disappointments, there's dangers, and there's harms. And those are all part of this human experience that we're all sharing. But I remember thoughts of this, you know, oh, that's so bad. You should never forget that. You should never forgive. Oh, you that. Oh man, you should carry that forever. That guilt, that resentment. Oh man, that must have hurt 40 years later. Fucking A, man. Oh, and then the revenge. Oh yeah, you should go torture them, burn their village. You should get their neighbors, get every single person they ever met. What? Holy cows, man. Our conflicts, our arguments, our expectations literally drive each other nuts.
Jack, speaking of that, we have somebody here today who has tried to drive you nuts, somebody who has tried to push every button that you have in your soul. I'm going to bring him up here today, and we're going to show him forgiveness.
Amen, brother. Hey, Moose, we are getting another echo on you again, so I don't know what you can do on the fly, but Nubs, how you doing, brother? Good to see you this evening. What are your thoughts on forgiveness, judgment, mercy?
Sorry, I was not available to hear you. I missed what you had said other than the last part.
Well, in the beginning, I was talking about Well, my intentions for the evening and what we were doing here with our time. But the topic this evening is forgiveness, and I was curious of your thoughts on forgiveness. And I expanded the question. What are your thoughts on forgiveness, judgment, mercy? Those seem inseparable.
I think all
to me.
three. Go ahead. Oh, I think all three are very important. I think that when we forgive ourselves, we're able to grow. I think that when others are able to forgive us, it shows our growth. Because we have moved from a place of unforgiveness to a place of forgiveness and changed our actions. As far as grace, I think grace is definitely a very important part of life, but grace is much like respect. It's one of those things that's not quite earned, but along those same lines. You have to see change in somebody before you should give them grace with discernment, if that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Well, please explain how it does not.
Well, I mean, are you willing to discuss, and because the things you said actually did not make a lot of sense, and I kind of disagree with some of what I understood.
I'm here.
All right. Let's start with what you said about forgiveness. You said, I agreed with the first part about the self, but then you said forgiveness of others is important because it shows your growth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you can't grow without the forgiveness of others?
No, I'm saying the evidence, somebody willing to forgive you for your transgressions, most likely what that means is either they have grown past those transgressions or you have grown past those transgressions and no longer commit those transgressions and have changed your ways. So therefore, it would be evidence that you have changed.
Okay. Opinions are factors, but you and I have had some disagreements, and I think you say a lot of things that either contradict other. I see contradiction. I've seen contradictions, and I see you say things that I don't know if you actually know what you mean.
No, I'm very clear, and I'm very.
Well, let's come around then to some. Please explain your version of respect again.
My version of respect.
Well, you said something about respect. Actually, I'm sorry. Phil, here's where we're at. I don't think you truly understand what. I'm not sure I've communicated what I've been trying to say very well.
I think I know what the problem is, Jack. He doesn't want our forgiveness. Well, specifically yours. Me and Nubs are fine, but maybe that's what it is. He's making it hard to forgive.
Now, actually, you know what? Maybe this is.
There's a teaching on this, right?
Yeah. I was trying to just avoid the topic, but you know what, Nubs? Maybe this is the best thing to deal with. I don't think Nubs. Well, Nubs is in denial about his belief. He believes he's done nothing that would be worthy of apologizing for. He believes he's been flawless in what he said about me. But I mean, I'm a man who practices what I preach. I don't judge. And each day is a new day. I allow each person to become new.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I just was listening to my son and what he said. My apologies. I thought I was muted.
Well, what do you think? Nubs?
Well, anything that I've ever said, the information, except for one thing, there has been one thing that I heard from a secondary source and then went and fact checked it. And it was something that you, in fact, did say.
Hey, Nubs, regardless of what you think right or wrong, what was your intentions? I mean, are you trying to help promote me, or you seem to be wanting to convince others not to listen to me? You seem to want to disrespect me and my name, Nubs, and here I am.
Jack, let me take this over for a second. So, Nubs, I think what he's trying to say is you're trying to defame him, cause him loss, injury, or harm, because now that he's a celebrity status, that's just not cool. It's not cool.
Well,
and so we're here today, Nubs, to offer you forgiveness. Jack's gonna forgive you. He's got a heavy heart right now. He's got some emotions going through him. He's got some anger for you, Nubs, and he's trying to release it. So if you would help me get Jack through this problem, so we can move forward with this, man, because we want to love you, we want to care for you, and we want to bring you into the fold.
Love is a choice. Right? Love is, if you look at, let's say you look at a biblical aspect of love. Love is patient, love is kind, love is gentle. It is not self-loathing. It is not envious, and in turn, it never fails.
And so now let's compare those words to you, Nubs.
Why would you mute me in the middle of what I'm saying? That's so...
Because this is my platform. Because this is my platform, and I've actually studied love, committed myself to love, and I believe I actually do demonstrate a man who loves. Now, the reason you're in the back, Nubs, is because you don't understand what it means to show respect. And you think you can establish superiority over a man like me, and that's why you've been disrespecting. You think you've been disrespecting me with your foolish comments about me, Nubs, and Paul Unslaved, and Wizard, and many others. Many of you have chosen to gamble both of our reputations on your opinions of me. But, you know, the funny thing is when you don't judge, you don't have to forgive. And see, I'm a man who understands mercy. I have mercy on you, Nubs. I feel bad for your confusion. That you want to, like I said, disrespect someone such as me with the goals that I have, doing what I'm doing.
Hey, Jack, I'm going to clarify it for the people out there. Just because you offer forgiveness and you have love in your heart for someone doesn't mean you have to let them continually disrespect you. This is your platform. You're the star of the show. We have a message to send out to the people, and you have a message. And so we're working together here to make a cohesive broadcast. The people in the audience need to laugh. They need to be inspired. They need to get some wisdom from this thing. So, Nubs, drop it on us.
Interesting. You talk of respect, but give none. You must have something in order to give it. And you sure don't have it, because you sure don't give it. And as I've said so many times, the words that I speak are from your mouth, Jack. They are your words. When you were up on panel talking about how you were a failure as a father, I was paying attention.
Oh, I know. You're so attentive. You should figure out what you've been ignoring. I'm not gonna. You know what, Moose? I'm asking for some advice here, and maybe, you know, actually, Hey, Moose, you want to recognize that? Let's take a moment and recognize the chat. Would you mind? Are you feeling that energy?
So we've got here, let's say hello to everybody in the audience. We've got some of my favorite fans out there. Let's start at the beginning, Jack. Let's see. We've got, thank you for forgiving. That is the way of the Tao. So I think I am the Tao is starting to come over to are starting to be cool with us. Then we have Daddy here. He says, "Is Moose's wife single? She clearly treats him like a little boy. Could use a real man in her life." So that was the one who got blocked. I blocked that person from the chat. So then after that, we started a war with the rest of the trolls. So we got Nubs down there. He says, "I am definitely going to need a link for this one." He's here for the forgiveness. He knows he's here for it. We got Goatfoot. He throws out the peace sign. Peace and love, Jack. Goatfoot, thank you for coming out, man. Then we got, we got Christos. Christos is laughing again. That's good, man. Laughter is the world's best medicine, Christos, and we forgive you. We forgive you for not coming up here right now, and we'll offer you another seat at the table if you'd like. Here we go. We got Jeff Hates Pigs. He's saying some weird stuff down there about cops are your friends. If that's true, then that's fine. He says, "Moose, good to see you." We got the Tricknology Rising. Then we got Christos saying Moose is deleting comments. We got some dude says, yeah. He says Moose loves communism. No, that's not true at all.
Goodness.
We got some wild shit down here,
Holy
Jack.
crap, man. Friday Night Freaks are out? Is that what we
Friday
got?
Night Freaks, that's what we got to switch it to. Friday Night Freaks, dude. Hey, speaking of Friday Night Freaks, we got In a Thought Experiment down there. He's one of the Friday Night Freaks. Why don't you come on up, brother? We would love to have you up here. We got Austin Murphy. Austin Murphy's our dude. I've been on panels with Austin Murphy all around. Sometimes he gets a little too drunk, says some stupid shit. But Austin, what it's like to be Austin, right, brother? I forgive you. Let's see. We got Venus Starshine. She says, "Grace is a gift for all." She is one who's here for the truth. She's here for the message. We got Ginger Jimmy. He's laughing. Okay, so we're doing a good job there making Ginger Jimmy laugh. His brain cells are small. His intelligence is not very much. So if we can make him laugh, more power to him, right, Jack? What, you want me to finish? I got a few other people down here. We got Rebecca. We got Smith. Smith's down there. Our brother Smith. Tell me when to stop. We still got the world unreal.
Here, thank you, Moose. Thank you, brother. That was exactly what I needed. A little more, a break, right? A change in energy. And so now here's the question, right? For those who joined, thank you. Friday night, we're doing chats about the topic of forgiveness, ideally, but the purpose is, ideally, we're going to share some discussions and conversations that get you inspired and encouraged, so together we create this better world. I'm not crazy for thinking better world is coming for us. And through these efforts, a better world is coming. So for those who are new, please do the subscribe thing. Stay tuned every night or every night about this time. But Moose, my patience with the man has been tested. And I'm referring to Mr. Nubs in the back.
Hey, at least he's not saying the stuff that Ginger Jimmy's down there saying. He says, Jack always uses Moose to degrade people, and Moose has a little wiener. So, that's even more childish than Nubs. Nubs is having a little bit of fun. He's probably got his ego up, so he doesn't want to feel that forgiveness and that love. But Ginger Jimmy's down there. And
you know what? In all forgiveness, I dropped the fun too. I came at this more serious and more, I didn't have to do that.
And you started it off great, dude. When you replay the start, that was a golden fucking start. We're going to turn that into a short. So Nubs, we're going to bring you back up. We're going to give you another chance. Jack he just apologized to you. He just apologized to you. Welcome, Nubs.
Oh my God, it stinks in there. It's like you put animals back there, buddy. What? I was looking for the cheese plate, but it just smelled like cheese.
Well, I know. By the time people get put into the back to wait, You know, I'm like a little less gracious of a host than I, believe it or not, I'm less gracious in the back than I am up here.
Wow. I didn't know if that was possible. Your anger is exceeding. I
Oh
almost
my
feel like
God.
you're trying to abuse me in some way or shape or form. It's kind of weird.
Those with habits of feeling like victims, or those who
No,
regularly
just
create
when you attempt
victims,
to. If you listen to
they
what I
might
said, I
feel that.
almost feel that way. Almost.
Um, hmm. All right. Well, good. What would allow you to feel better?
Honesty, integrity, just being a man would really start if you were just a man about things, own
No, we're
your
talking
shit,
about you.
and
We're talking about you. What would help
that would make
you
me
do
feel
better
better.
in
And
those
then I wouldn't
things?
need to come hang out with you, Jack.
Oh, you want to feel better about yourself? Yes, you're in the right place, Nubs.
No, that's not
That
what
is
I've said.
exactly what I'm offering. I'm offering you
That's
tips
what
so
you're
you can
hearing.
feel
Your
better about
delusional
yourself.
ears,
Jack,
your
Jack,
delusional ears
you're
are
losing
hearing
the fun
things
again.
again.
You're losing the fun. You're losing the fun. Now I
Anytime I
understand.
come up, that unforgiveness comes immediately and the fun goes away because forgiveness and fun and don't,
You know what it is, Nubs? It's
Here,
because you're like chalks to
I
no,
think I
nails to a
remind,
chalkboard.
no. I think I remind him of his son.
Maybe you
no,
are his son.
no,
Maybe I
no.
could be.
How about, tell you what, let's
No, I know
discuss
my
any
dad. My
words.
dad was a good dad.
All right, this is turning into Freaky Friday again. Let's
You brought it up.
see. You're
Don't
going
set
for the
me up,
low blow,
Moose.
Nubs.
Don't
Nubs.
set me up, buddy. Yeah, I see that little smile. I know you well enough. Don't be setting me up for some shenanigans. Yeah, you know
Rewatch that,
exactly
Jack.
where I'm coming
Is
from
that
and
what's
what I'm
happening? Hey,
talking
Nubs.
about.
Hey, Nubs. Hey, Nubs. I know I'm not a
Anyways,
participant in
so
this conversation on my show,
if you're gonna
but
sit there and smile and chuckle like a smiley moose,
who are you
remember who
talking
you're
to,
talking
Nubs?
to, buddy.
Nubs,
Your
Nubs, why
secret
are
is
you
safe with me.
ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me
Oh, what?
and
I'm sorry.
speaking
Were you
over
saying
me?
something?
Right. Yes, I was.
Oh,
He's
I
trying
was
to.
sorry.
He's trying to
I was
forgive you, Nubs,
communicating
and
with
you're triggering him. Why?
Right. Exactly, Nubs.
triggering you.
Why?
Yes.
No. No.
No, you're
Why?
not triggered.
Why the fuck are you ignoring me on my
Because I was
platform?
talking.
Holy shit, oh dear. May please anyone else who might be down
Yeah.
there and available, willing to come up and have different conversations?
There's
I'd
got
love
to
to
be
actually
somebody out
have
there.
I'd love to have productive conversations about the importance of, oh, praise God. Um, well, Moose, I just saw someone in the back, so let's run with that. Praise God. Thank you, Jesse. How are you, brother?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Oh, blessed. Blessed. Well, do you know Moose yet?
Well, I've known him from you and your chats and stuff like that. I've
Okay.
listened to him and we've chatted a little bit. How's it going, Moose?
It's
Very
good to
cool.
see you again, Jesse. It's a beautiful day. Things went off to a rough start, but now that you're here, I think things will start turning around a little bit.
Well, I can't stay long. I'm going to be interviewing someone in 5 minutes, so
Oh,
Oh, geez.
I did put some links into the description. I hope you don't mind, just so that way people kind of know, my work and stuff like that if they don't have the links. So I just it's under Forbidden History Chronicles. So that's another. My missing link YouTube channel got deleted, so that's a different channel that I have with another guy, another show that we've been doing. Some of his work comes a lot from a lot of Bible teachings and stuff from the Forbidden History Chronicles. So we haven't done a show there for a while, but that's the YouTube channel that I use. So I just thought I would just come in and say hi. I know I heard a little bit of that, thing going on. So I just quickly come by and hopefully lift some energy up here for you guys.
Thank you, brother. Did. And you said you're going to drop those links for us?
I did. I don't know if YouTube didn't pick it up, but it's called Forbidden History Chronicles.
Jesse, can you drop the link up here in the private chat? We'll drop it in. We'll drop it in our
history. I'll get it.
Okay, beautiful. You can drop it in our chat.
Yeah, I can do that. I just got to email it to myself.
For those who don't know, who haven't discovered Jesse Howell, the Missing Link, he's created a space and a platform to allow many different voices, and he's connected to and introduced a lot of amazing people. It was actually through Jesse Howell that I discovered Paul Unslaved. The proper instruction motivates people. That's how I ended up meeting Moose. And this platform, this model of broadcasting emerged from a combination of all of you guys. So blessings, Jesse. And for those who are available, looks like the link is there in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in and check out what Jesse's doing over there, please.
Today we're interviewing a friend of mine, Anthony Rogers. He's a musician. He's going to play some music. And we've interviewed some musicians. Like you said, we did interview Paul Unslaved. He's actually going to be coming back up, on, I believe, June 12th or June 17th or something like that. So he's going to be coming on a second time. I seen the work that you guys were doing and back and forth, and I just thought it'd be great to get an update from him, because I found him when I seen a video of him talking to the police about not having any insurance and registration. And I'm like, wow, I like the way this guy is talking. And that's why I reached out to him. And then we had a really good show on the Missing Link. This was maybe over a year ago. Yeah, I don't exactly know how long ago. But again, like I said, he will be coming back on to the Missing Link on let me see, May 17th is when he's going to be back.
Fabulous. All right. Hey, Jesse.
Okay, I got to go.
Thank you for stopping by.
God bless you guys. And, we will see you guys later. If you're still up, maybe I'll come by after I'm done.
Beautiful. All right, brother. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a great interview.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome, Flow State. Good to see you tonight, brother. Even Flow.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, I'm glad to see you here, brother. I really do.
I'm glad to be here. I don't know what's going on, but I heard that you were tired of fighting, and I'm just driving home from work. So how's my background noise? If it's too obnoxious, let me know.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It sounds like you're muting yourself, though. Here, if you want. Yeah. Well, yeah. Please.
Well, I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to minimize the road noise. I know that the truck is loud, and I got the mud tires on. It's
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Drive safe, and thanks for sharing the ride with us. Tonight for Friday night, the idea for the topic was forgiveness. How do you?
Who are we forgiving?
Well, just the concept in nature is initially where I wanted to start, was the benefits of it and maybe some steps. But
I actually, when I was in jail, I spent quite a bit of 2017 in jail, and the last time I got arrested, when my bonds finally got revoked, and I realized I was just stuck there until the judge sentenced me. Making that phone call to my mom, is not fun. That sorry, I'm a shitty son, and now I'm back in jail again. But the thing I had to offer her was she had been trying to basically save my soul. She's she's kind of Christian, but also kind of New Agey. But she was sending me all these books in jail, and I wasn't reading them. And so I told her, I said, Mom, I'm in jail again, and I'm sorry. And whatever books you want to send me, I'll read them. One of the books actually she sent, one was called Radical Forgiveness, and the other was the follow-up to it. I don't remember what it's called, but Nothing I ever would have voluntarily read, but really great books, honestly. A very good perspective on things, and that basically there's nothing to forgive. Everything is the way it should be in the bigger scheme of things. And so there's not really anything to forgive. And anybody who's wronged you, it's part of their role to play in your life. Is sort of the gist.
What was the name of that book again, please?
Radical Forgiveness.
Do you remember the author by chance?
I don't. It's if you look at it, it's a paperback book. It's got it's like a pinkish purplish cover, and it says Radical Forgiveness and sort of cursive writing on the cover. Probably in the New Age section.
Dude, when I started my path of learning, one of the things I realized is you can learn a lot just from the book title, right? Because the author they put the gist of their message into that title. And radical forgiveness, fuck, that's a strong concept.
It is, but yeah, it is. I guess it seemed deceptive to me because it was very unappealing, and it was just a different take on forgiveness. I'd never thought about forgiveness in any way other than, I'd always thought of, people who believe in karma. This is what I used to say. Now I believe in karma. But I used to say that people who believe in karma are just making excuses to themselves for not being able to get revenge.
Ooh.
So I guess
wow.
that was sort of the headspace I was in back then. And I no longer view things that way, but.
Good for you. Holy shit. Not to keep you out of this, Nubs, but to continue just for a moment more. That radical forgiveness, I mean, the way you explained it is what I've learned. And have you heard of the Course in Miracles by chance?
Yeah, who is that?
Oh, goodness. I can't remember. I got a copy.
I have heard of it. I don't know if I've read it, or maybe I just own a copy of it. My mom sent more books than I had time to read.
Oh, dude, me too. I discovered it. My path was interesting. I found a book study, a weekly book study for a book called How to Become a Christ. And it was right around that time that I also discovered A Course in Miracles. And dude, there's so much literature and so much information out there about, quote unquote, the way of the spiritual masters and the spiritual beings that were there before us and that are now.
There's almost too much. It's hard to sift through.
Great segue, brother.
One must have discernment.
Actually, one must have discernment, but I shared this recently on Facebook, is wisdom is the discernment of what to ignore. It's learning how to ignore, strengthening your ignorance. What do you ignore? What factors are relevant? What do you consider? And part of forgiveness is if you can find gratitude, like most people, I think for myself, most times I went through issues of, resentment. It was mostly resentment, not as much guilt, but I'd lost sight of the gratitude. I was ungrateful of what those people had offered me. And it wasn't until I accepted responsibility that my disappointment, my pain, my anger, it was all because of my expectations.
Yeah, that was another thing that this book went into, actually. It was how forgiving other people, right? Not only are they not doing things wrong, if you view the world in this perspective, but that when you have a grudge or resentment, a bone to pick from the past with somebody, you should not be trying to change them or make them conform to how you think they should be or should have been, or, you know, my mom shouldn't be such a drunk, or my dad should have been there more, you know, whatever your bone to pick is. Just accept them as they are with all their flaws and baggage, and recognize that by trying to force them to change to what you think they should be, that's a controlling, that's you being controlling in a way. And I don't know, it goes into it way better than I just recapped it, but it was also another new perspective for me.
Hey, Flo, hold on to that thought, but pause for just a moment, please.
Hey, so check this out, guys. Jack, we have a special guest tonight, Mr. Truthfinder UK. He said he found you on Lauren De Laguna's channel, and he'd like to come up. And we also have Mr. Provo Kid, the man, the myth, the legend, a very fucking respectable dude. Provo Kid, come on up, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Hey man, what's going on?
Not much, Truthfinder.
Yeah, I just want to ask Jack something here. I saw you on Lauren's, innit? I think Lauren's a great woman that, you know, does entertaining shows, innit? So every time Lauren does, what's that called, an interview or something like that, I go and investigate the person that she interviewed. So when I investigated you, sir, I have discovered back in 1998, you accidentally stabbed your friend and killed him by accident, and you done jail sentence for that. And apparently you handed yourself in. You was emotional. You was crying in court, saying, "I didn't mean to kill my friend. He was my best friend. I feel like an idiot and everything." And you had remorse and everything. I just want to know, did you take therapy or anything to overcome what you did by accident?
Well, that's a fascinating timeline and narrative you presented. I'm being
told this, and I just want to know if it is.
But here, there's actually some mistaken facts. I've been actually pretty clear in the stuff that I've shared honestly and openly, and I'm sure there's plenty of evidence and records that support what I'm saying, but I never went to jail. I never stabbed anyone.
Okay, not even by accident.
No.
Oh. Well,
they fell on the night.
Are you really called the Lie Finder? Are you the Lie Finder? Is that what you are?
No.
Thank you, Provo.
Apparently you're not finding truth, so get this detective scrub out of the way. If Truth or Cop wants to come up, let Truth or Cop come on.
Hey,
that was pretty weak bait.
So I got to tell you, Provo, you pulled the guns out, and I put the boot to his ass. And I'm sorry. If you want to come back next time, come correct. We forgive you, for you know not what you do, even though you're being an asshole and you're trying to ruin someone's broadcast. You know, what can I say? I forgive you.
Sucked at it. Like, you got to come with better. If you're going to be a troll, you got to troll better than that and make it entertaining for everybody and not just sucky.
Hey,
Moose, I do not appreciate. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I yield.
Nubs, go ahead. You've been quiet and respectful, but I did want to welcome Provo before we get to a couple more guests who dropped in. Go ahead, Nubs.
I just thought it. No, I'm good. Never mind. It's not even worth interrupting. My apologies. Provo Kid, welcome.
Well, I wanted to address one more thing before we get to Provo, and thank you, brother. Actually, I want to say something before you, brother, please. Moose, forgiveness is the key, but when we're offering forgiveness, we're not in a place. We're at a place of humility, and we're grateful for all who come, all who give us their attention. The forgiveness can be unspoken sometimes. It's at least from us to them. Provo, I fucking love you, man. I caught some of your cooking show this morning. I made sure to dislike and unsubscribe twice. So
thank you. That means a lot to me. It's always fun cooking content, and I love your theme today, forgiveness, Jack. You inspire me, and I love your content. I love you, Jack. I think you're a content machine. And when I saw your title, forgiveness, I think it's important to forgive other people. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's where your show kind of started. But I think also we need to, most importantly, forgive ourselves sometimes for our transgressions, for our faults, right? I think forgiveness starts on the inside, and then that helps us forgive other people. What are you thinking, Jack?
Brother, I think you're absolutely right. You're a beautiful messenger and a creative talent. That honestly, please, if there is a way we can co-create some stuff, I'd love some guidance and some mentoring. I haven't had time to really get into your streams and follow the tips you're already offering, but if there's a way, please, okay? And not to put you on the spot, but I'd actually like to kind of bring everyone else back up within mind that,
bring him
go
in.
ahead.
I'm saying bring him in.
Within mind that truth seeker or whatever facade profile that was, dude, they're not a quarter of the investigator of this man, Cousin It.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we need to get another, a brand new one on the show. We're kind of stamping that out. Just because we forgive you doesn't mean we're going to let you shit on our floor. You don't walk into Walmart or whatever, take a shit on the floor and break a bunch of shit and then walk out. And
Hey,
I know some people do, but not you.
No, and before we move on, I don't want to run with the assumption that was ill-intended either. I know there is a lot who do that, but there's also, we live in a misinformation age, and dude, there's so many. In a data age, it's very easy to, go down the wrong trail. And I've been accused of so much shit. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a story of me going to jail and murdering people and whatever, man. Life is crazy, dude.
Jack, you did work for the post office. I mean, let's be honest. As did I. So I'm not speaking about it from a place that I cannot speak. Got to be a little bit there.
Well, part of the Postal Service actually does have an interesting part in the growth and development of American history. It's kind of cool. I spent a lot of time looking into it because that's where I was. But part of the job, the custodial labor force, was actually expanded after, I think it was the Vietnam era, might have been Korean era, where those jobs were actually created for veterans to come home and have some employment security after their service. But
to my knowledge, it was a branch of the Navy that they came in and utilized Navy tactics, etc., to use the post office, etc.
Yeah, the governance of mankind and the economic structure, it's all been just manipulation. It's fucking brilliant. You guys, we really, the elite, the quote unquote, the elite, the few, the ones who own everything, fucking give it up.
Well, the post offices today, guys, are literally known as inland marine installations. And so Nubs is absolutely correct. It's an extension of the Navy. And from the Navy, the first thing you have is the Coast Guard. Now, those are the cutters that...
I'll be right back for this lecture.
The cutters, lecture. The cutters are the ones that secure the coastline. And then the Marines are the ones that are operating on both water and land. And then you have the Navy or the Army that operates on land. And then you have the Air Force, which is a go between the land and water via the air. I yield.
Seaman. That's all.
Hey, really great words. Love that.
Yeah, Thank you. We got someone else in the back, Moose. I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but I'd like to bring.
Moose, Nubs, and Panel. Jack, hi.
Blessings,
Hi, I
Homestead.
didn't even. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even recognize you. Didn't pay attention. Welcome.
Thank you. How's everybody
Hey,
doing?
long time no see.
Friday?
Come visit us.
I know, for real. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, anyone want to discuss, throw in ideas on the topic, forgiveness? I mean, it's Friday night. That was kind of the intention.
Brother Yurt just joined us. Maybe he has some wise words. Brother Yurt, welcome to the panel. Always great to be sharing space with another YouTube legend.
Well, thank you, Provo Kid. I appreciate that. And I was actually going to say to you on the subject that Jack is talking about, I wanted to take this opportunity and come up here and tell you, Provo Kid, I forgive you for earlier today sort of cussing me out a little bit. I just want you to know I forgive you for that.
Thank you, brother.
Because I love you so much and I don't want any issues. So I forgive you and you're all good in my book, Provo Kid.
Thank
so don't
you,
worry,
brother. I wish I had something to forgive you for, but I try not to take anything personally. So if I do come across something, a grievance, I think I'll do the same as you and forgive quickly. Thank you for your kindness and everlasting patience, Moose. Yurt, you're a beacon to us all.
Thank you, sir.
College.
And then I also wanted to say, Jack, could you maybe give us a personal story of your life where you offered someone forgiveness in a substantive way and maybe your process on that? Could you share something a little more closer to home?
Oh, brother,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Jack, before you go, Jack, we have people still trying to connect to the stream right now. So if you could kind of find a way to kind of like, let's cycle people, you know, if someone only has a few things to say real fast, let's get them off the panel. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Cousin It, God bless you. Thank you. Blessings. Feel free to join at another time. And thank you for that. Forgiveness. Well, kind of along the lines of what Flo and I were discussing, and I don't know what you caught or didn't catch. It's also in what I saw Provo demonstrating. I don't know any details, but when we find gratitude for the others involved, for the past experience, anything like that, there's nothing to forgive. I mean, because there's no judgment other than joy. It's kind of a mind game. You got to trick yourself at sometimes, but my own specific stories, man, I spent a life not understanding. Hey, Joe, welcome. I'm going to mute you, brother. I spent a life not understanding many things, but believing I knew. And one of the things I didn't know was gratitude. And I didn't know gratitude because I felt insecure all the time. I lived in a survival state.
Don't.
And without gratitude, we become resentful and ungrateful. So my life was filled with resentments.
That was heavy.
Joe, you're killing me, man. I love you, brother.
I just hopped up here and I got it dropped over you, baby. Without gratitude, there's resentment. It feels. Oh fuck! Somebody clip that. I'm gonna screen record that shit.
Joe Cool.
I do not want to forget that shit. Oh man,
brother.
Joe Cool. What's up, brother?
What's that? Let me zoom in. I'm high as always. Homestead. What's up, Yer? Provo.
Hey, blessings, Joe.
Cool. Stay. All right.
We have an amazing group of minds and hearts here on this panel today, and I can only imagine how many more are in the chat or just paying attention. Joe, welcome to. We're kind of doing Friday night chats, but along that, it's Forgiveness Friday, a great topic for all of us to consider.
Hey, Jack, can I talk to you for a second?
Please do.
I want to ask for your forgiveness. I'm a very curious person, and there's a lot of times that I don't understand how my question may land. And I don't want to be known as a triggering person. You know, I'm just a curious person, and I want to ask for your forgiveness because it's twice I've asked questions that have seemed to, you know, land on you the wrong way. So I hand it over to you.
I'm grateful for, I don't know, for you're forgiven. I mean, I didn't judge anything. I don't remember here. And you know what? Actually, please forgive any past misunderstandings between us, Homestead. You and, was it Vince?
Yep.
I reviewed the past stream, and I recognize, as hard as I try, sometimes I don't always understand, right? And sometimes I lose track of what's important. So.
And we all do, Jack. So I want to say, I don't have no hard feelings. Like, to me, we're all trying to understand this communication through panels and stuff. And if we don't have not a forgiving frame of mind, but an understanding frame of mind, there would not be hurt feelings and stuff.
Absolutely agreed, my friend. But here's where my frustration comes in, and what might have been behind the reaction you're remembering is, I've actually, believe it or not, I actually have studied our minds and emotions. I've actually studied communication, but whatever I have to offer, it's kind of worthless if everyone just wants to keep talking. So
I understand that. Yes. Running over is like, should be the new hashtag to some you know, hot-blooded topics on some panels, because, you know, we all get passionate about things, and you know, some things stuff just fly out of our mouth, right?
Hey, sister, and you know what? I'm a man who I call myself an advocate for the truth. I point out what is obvious. And for those tuning in now, tuning in later, may not understand some of the, you know, misunderstandings you see. This is human beings, man. We're documenting history today. We are all people who care. People who have come together. I know many of the people here are creators themselves. So we're all humans figuring this out together at an amazing fucking time of human history. I think we're like, what's that?
Amen, Jack. Amen. I really want people to let that statement that Jack just said resonate. I was playing a little game with my daughter, like a trivia game, and the question blew me away. It's exactly what you're talking about. The question posed to anyone was, if a person grows up in the wild with no society and no culture, or human, they use the word human, how human are they? And I actually got into almost like a debate with my teenager, because I'm trying to answer the question they posed to me, which to me waters down the human being, because the question posed suggests that without society or culture that someone's not human. And it kind of blew me away that this was a question in like a party game. You know, if you got together and had a party with a bunch of people,
Can you state the question again the way you stated it?
Sure. If a human grows up in the wild with no influence of other humans, society, or culture, How human are
human?
they?
I got you.
And I actually got pretty heated, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, how dare a game insinuate that a person's humanity, the measuring of it is by way of society and by way of culture? Because no matter
All right,
what we all
I like
experience,
I
we're all
like some
human.
shit about that, and there's some things I don't like. Let me hear your argument as to why you see it that way.
Well, actually, can I jump in on this topic?
Yeah, I like to hear.
Sure, go ahead, Jack.
I mean, the question is, it is a very interesting question of what makes a human, right? And what is it that forms us? Have you guys come across Bruce Lipton, or have any others come across Bruce Lipton?
Vaguely, yeah.
His work on epigenetics.
Yep.
And the way the environment actually works with our microbiology and our biology and our neurosystem. We're living at a time right now where it's like a pinnacle. We're experiencing the crumble of the old. I mean, I haven't been paying close attention, but it looks like the banking systems are making their maneuvers, you know, moving it so the US dollar is not the petrodollar anymore. And then it looks like these clowns playing politicians are increasing the aggression with like China and picking sides and becoming allies. This fucking world is nuts, man.
Okay, wait. Don't forget the question. Is it tied to human? And don't forget the question the way it was presented.
I did. I forgot
Okay.
the question. Thanks for bringing us on topic.
All right. If a person were born in the wild without the cultures and everything we've come to know, are they human? I didn't present it perfectly, I'm sure. I was screen recording your shit, by the way, Jack. That's when I had my mic muted. Your answer to whatever the fuck you said, I screen recorded.
Well, thank you, brother.
But are they human? The culture. I wonder, we have to define human, right, to figure that one out. They're human by DNA, and you know we look like human. But what makes us human? Is it our acts? Because now that question, they have an argument. Your 17-year-old has an argument.
Well, humane and human, I think, is what you're talking about. So right now in modern culture or in modern society, to be cultured, to be, you know, with active in society, kind of has a defining nature to it, depending, you know, it makes you a more humane person. But whether that takes away from human, I'm not quite sure of.
Well, the thing is,
Wizard just did a definition on the word human according to the federal government. Great piece. That's all I'll say on it.
Well, then that brings in a whole different argument, right?
Well, here's
what human is. That's right.
The arguments can become distractions. So the idea of being human, here's something, and to tie it into the forgiveness idea, right? Forgiveness, the best way to have forgiveness and gratitude for others is to find grace, to recognize grace. Grace is the allowance of others to be themselves.
That's what Provost said when he hopped on. He said somebody, you know, he said something like, you got to forgive yourself. I'm quick to forgive, or something like that. I think that was Provost said that. Forgiving yourself, I guess, in a way, that's grace. Is kind of like what you're talking about.
Beautiful. Actually, that is an important thing. Honestly, when I went through one night, it was at the end of 2017, right before I chose to change my life. I went through like this shift in consciousness, or a spiritual awakening, or I received the Holy Spirit, or whatever. There was a fundamental shift in my perception of myself and the world. And what it came down to was fucking forgiving myself.
Yeah.
Recognize that, yeah, you fucked up sometimes, but you tried hard, and your efforts were good enough. You know?
Yeah.
And it's forgivable. I
Yeah.
think people really look upon not just what others have done to them, but what they do themselves, and they deem things unforgivable.
Don't
And
we
I
do
don't
that?
share a lot of my own personal life, but I had to go through a forgiving process when it came to my parents and the family. And to even some folks I've met in church, they've deemed it as unforgivable behavior from a parent to a child. So I had to figure out a way to forgive these grievances done upon me in a way that didn't hurt them or myself, because it could be a double-edged sword, that, you know what I'm saying? Because when people are victimized, they do think that forgiveness is giving up a part of themselves. I disagree with that.
Well,
I believe it's a
hold
gift unto myself.
Okay, I think I see where you're saying.
Okay, so
You reminded me of something I clumsily tried to explain earlier.
go ahead.
In this world of punishments, right? We put these lengths of time that, you know, you should be angry, you should carry resentment, you should carry guilt.
Yeah.
For how fucking long? You know what? If you can convince yourself that you're worthy of forgiveness, then, and be honest about it, then fucking forgive yourself. And if your things are lacking, you know, then go take care of what needs to be done.
Hey, Jack, this is why we can't, or it's so difficult to forgive ourselves, especially those church people that you were just talking about. They judge others so harshly and pick apart other people's shit that everything is deemed worthless and sinful and bad action. Now, when you're going by that gauge, how do you forgive yourself? Because if you ever look at yourself, you're a piece of shit too. Right? Because you judge everybody for everything they've done. So if you
Joe,
ever have to look at
absolutely.
yourself,
And sometimes it's another person's words that drip with something that you must have to deal with in that forgiving process. So for me, I was talking to a woman sitting to my right, but the woman sitting in front of me was listening. And when she turned around to ask me how I got through my situation, it wasn't even like, it wasn't cloaked in niceness. It was oh my gosh, how did you get through that? Like, and whoa, like I had to realize that at first other people don't look through my eyes.
Yes.
And then I have to forgive myself, because sometimes my reaction is not what I want it to be, right? Sometimes it is a reaction and not a response, or you know, or even a conversation, because that's what these things should be turning into, is conversation.
Of course. And sorry to interrupt you guys. I got to interrupt you for just a sec, Joe. We got Mr. Scott to be insane here. Jack was trying to get a hold of him earlier. He wanted to welcome him onto his channel, see if he'd come back tonight. Thank you, Scott, for coming back. And yeah, go ahead, take it away, Jack.
Hey, man. Hey, thank you. Hey, Moose, I was actually trying to figure out how to get the YouTube link into Facebook. I saw someone comment about that.
Yeah, it looks like some dude from like somewhere out of the country, somebody who possibly could not be a real Facebook account. That's why I didn't drop the link.
Well,
I'll go drop the link for him if he wants to join us. You know what? You're the man of the hour. I'll drop the link.
What I was gonna do is just because I don't know about. I was just gonna do the YouTube link to the Facebook chat, and that's what I was gonna offer. Okay. Thank you. And welcome, Scott. Sorry to interrupt.
What's up, man? How you doing, everybody? I came up to tell Paulie to drop a link because I knew he was watching you. I was
I fucking love you, Scott. You're awesome. Man.
What can you do, man? I'm here. I've been fucking. I was being served dinner by cops tonight at a restaurant here. I'm like, holy shit!
Is that a good thing or bad thing? Most of the time, cops serve you dinner. You behind a bar.
They were cleaning up too. They were clearing the tables, man. But they were all packing heat. I was like, damn, this is a little fucking sketchy. And I think a couple of them know me.
Was it like a fundraiser?
I don't know what. There was blueberries, some shit going on. I don't know what.
Was it a fundraiser?
Blueberries?
You guys.
Yeah, that thin blue line in your pancakes, I guess.
It's a fundraiser.
They're trying to reform that blue line.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to just cover it up a little bit, make it all over the whole flag. Just
sorry about your dog.
Hey,
I agree.
Hold on. You guys crack me up. Provo, you doing all right over there?
Just enjoying the good company and the friendly feelings everybody's sharing with each other. So yeah, I mean, if I got something to say, I'll pipe up.
No, okay, cool.
I'm gonna hop off and come back at you from the house.
All right, Scott.
This is I think trying to get on my Wi-Fi here.
All right. Blessing, brother. We'll see you again soon. Holy cows. And Paul, if you're listening, please drop the link for Scott. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Oh, and Paul, you're welcome to join, by the way, of course. You are invited.
Hey, Jack, I don't want to mess with your mood or anything, but he's basically over there making a mockery of what we're doing here. So instead of inviting him over for some forgiveness, let's just tell him we forgive you. We forgive
Give us
you.
a 3 count
and
so we can all say it.
Let's move on to somebody else because you have a bunch of people here, man. You got Flow State, you got you got Joe Cool, you got Provo Kid, man. Provo Kid's coming up here. He is seriously, these guys, they have shit to do, Jack. So let's talk with these guys.
I got a question about the question, if I may. When we forgive ourselves, what is the evidence that you guys have found in your life of that forgiveness? It's something we were touching on earlier.
Peace. You feel that sense of peace, man. You feel that weight of the other person's shit come off your shoulders because you have forgiven them. You take that shit and you put it in the trash.
I sleep well at night, every single night, because I do not embrace that angst anymore.
Yes.
I've learned to forgive because I don't know every single word of the Bible, and I do know a lot of it. And the best thing I can do to honor parents such as I've had is to understand, for they know not what they do. And that's at the end. That's a period at the end of that sentence. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. They know not what they do.
And when you really take on that belief, you no longer feel that you have to forgive a person because you don't even take offense to things any longer. People are people, and they just did a people thing, and I don't have to forgive a motherfucker that did something to me.
Exactly.
Hey,
it's only when you personalize it that it affects you.
Yes, and the more you personalize, perhaps the more it affects you.
Here, I want to offer.
I want to hold on, Jack. I got to offer some of these people in the crowd some word of advice. If you want to have the ability to chat in Jack's chat, maybe you should stop just being our chat. Maybe stop being a little punk ass bitch. Okay, Provo Kid's up here. He does his own show. If you got a problem with him, go over to his show and talk to him over there about it. Don't bring that shit over here. All right? Take your shit somewhere else. You got a problem with me? Email me. My email's down there. All right? The complaints department opens after 9. Okay? Get your shit together. All right? Now, I'm sorry for the
complaints department's the best.
Mercy and forgiveness.
I'd like to dude on Jerry Springer that would break up the fights.
Jerry.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkos. Right?
Steve. Moose is turning in. There's some Steve potential there.
Hey.
Now that you bring up Jerry Springer, I guess society has been falling all along. Because back then society was
that was the tipping point where it was just straight downhill from there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Bro.
Well, I think it
we
just
watching
started
gladiators and shit on TV.
The shit that was happening in people's lives was just finally starting to be shown. I mean, I think humans have been insane for a long time, but this idea of forgiveness, a logical observation that I came to for myself, right? If we've got guilt and resentment, we're feeling thoughts of anger, imagining arguments and shit like that.
Yes.
It takes up time, right? So replace your time when you notice the angry or unpleasant thoughts. Flip it around. What would be the opposite?
I don't know if that's going to work, Jack, because I believe the whole purpose they do these things is to waste time. It's away from looking at themselves. They're looking for distractions. They have no fucking interest in not being angry and shit. Then if I blame him, I don't have to accept any fucking responsibility. You try to get them to give up a good thing. They got a good thing going there. I'd never do wrong.
Good point, Joe.
I've never done nothing wrong because he's a dick. He's a dick. He's a dick.
Right. It's always someone else. See, and that blame is bullshit. Those excuses, those are probably lies. You know?
Right. Tell them what they are, right?
Hey, that's what it is. That's what I finally, guys, seriously. External conditions, I don't have the results to point to, my bank account or anything else like that yet, but my inner being, fuck, oh dear.
Right on. That's the first thing. You can feel good. You know, you're not stressing and having anxiety and shit. You're ahead of the game. I don't give a fuck if you're living in a tent.
Amen.
I wouldn't live in that truth, then the angst can't come from outside because you live in that truth. It's only what you allow.
Right. You're responsible for everything suddenly. Yeah.
It's only what you're accountable for, in my opinion.
If I let someone telling me to shut up interfere with who I am, I would not be me ever.
Yes.
Ever.
You let their energy take over you.
If you've spoken truth, you've been told to shut up, right?
Yeah.
So, you can't hold stuff against people like, that use that way of defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Because even what we're talking about to some people is unfathomable. There are some victims out there that will just never get past, unfortunately, what's done to them. And I hope one day that one person is helped by Jack, by Joe. I can't read everybody's name. I'm so sorry. Provo's up there. Moose is up there talking on the phone. But one person makes everything worth it.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Homestead, this is what you're saying is precisely what we are doing here. The purpose of this channel, and for those who are new, please remember to subscribe and share the awareness with those you think would resonate. What we're doing here, what I've come to conclude, and here, my goal, it's no secret, I think a path to the UN is through the Capitol building, to be invited to speak at the United States government. But here's the reality. This economic system and this political system that we have, the only reason it exists is because we keep enabling it. We make excuses and we make blame for ourselves and the economy and the government.
Yes. It's convenient to be able to blame politicians for every fucking thing that's wrong in your life. It's worth voting as long as I get to blame them. I'll vote every fucking 2 years.
the
Yes,
bread and
I
circus.
absolutely agree with
National
that.
politics is a circus, and it keeps people distracted,
Yeah.
and they feel like they're participating. Right? It's a placebo activity, and really, what people are doing is they're watching WWE. It's total bullshit.
They totally
100%.
involved, right?
It's
But hey, I got to jump off. But I just wanted to give a final thought on forgiveness before I bounce. Well, I guess two things. First, Jack, forgive me in the future because I'm going to continue to offend you by calling out your bullshit with the UN thing. But that's not for now. It's just in the future. While we're on the topic, but about forgiveness, somebody mentioned awareness. I think it was Homestead earlier, and I guess my understanding of forgiveness, like, it's not hard to do, right? You don't have to try to do it. It doesn't take effort to forgive people if you have awareness and if you understand, right? So once I understood that I was kind of a piece of shit, like I wasn't the saint that I treated myself as, it kind of opened things up. They're like, oh, okay, I am pretty fucking difficult to get along with sometimes. My ex-wife is psycho, but maybe she has some points. You know, you learn some things about yourself. So once you learn that, and then you can sort of, once you understand people's perspective, where they're coming from, you realize almost nobody is acting out of the pure sort of maliciousness we ascribe to them.
Oh man, 100%.
And that's important, yes.
And it neutralizes everything. You don't even have to try. So then if you just apply that to yourself, recognize that you're also a person, just the same as everybody else, it just naturally goes there. And last Nubs asked how you know what's the evidence. I dropped in the chat a link to a chart off of Power versus Force. It's probably my favorite book I've read. Another one of the ones my mom sent me in jail. But he ranks out the emotions from least to most, you know, lowest vibe to highest vibe, basically.
Yeah.
And the lowest of the low, like guilt, shame, shit like that. When you've forgiven yourself, you notice that that's just gone.
Yes, and again, you lift the weight. Yes.
All right, thanks for having me on.
And that's where the inner
Thanks
peace
for that.
comes from.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Beautiful peace and power, brother. Peace and power.
Jack, what do we got? What's this? The thing you was talking about?
Yeah, this is what he was talking about.
Hell, man,
I don't know how. Well,
I might be able to take the conversation somewhere, Jack.
Jack, I have no clue how to decipher that. How'd you do that?
There. There.
Welcome back, Jack. I'm in the house.
Oh, Scott's back. Well, praise God.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Where's
brother.
Paulie at? He was watching you. I figured he'd be here.
He's welcome, but he's doing his thing.
I've been
Provo,
running around Geritol Junction.
Before we get into you, Scott, Provo, did you have a direction you were thinking?
I got a piece of conversation that might relate to the topic, but we haven't heard from Brother Yurt in a while. I just want to
whoa. No, you flow with what you got. In my opinion, fucking Provo, fuck that. You've been patient, quiet, motherfucker. You got something to chip in. Yurt might curse somebody out and divert the conversation.
He's feeling a little freaky today. Well, I was just thinking of, I don't know if you're familiar, maybe you've talked about it before, Jack, but internal and external locus of control. Are you familiar with that concept?
I'm not.
Please expand.
All right. So an analogy I might put forth is, you're in school, right? And you take a test and you don't do well. You perform poorly. You get an F. And you have a friend right next to you. They get an F too. You work on internal locus of control. You operate from the idea that the reason I perform poorly on the test is because I didn't study hard enough.
Right.
I didn't get enough sleep. I probably procrastinated in class. Maybe I showed up late. Maybe I didn't take good enough notes, but all the onus comes back to you, right? And you can move forward with an action plan and develop something. And then the person to your right, your friend, has external locus of control. They fail the test. They say the teacher hates me. The person at the coffee shop I went to this morning caused me to be late, so I couldn't study. I didn't take the right notes. The teacher was tricking me in class. The test really wasn't on what it should have been on. The people were finishing the test too early. It distracted me. And
Provo,
the list goes on, right? So basically, we have 2 pass.
locust. What word are you saying? Locust, like
Locust.
the bug?
Yeah, it could be thought of that. Yeah, internal
Okay.
locus of
Okay.
control and
No,
external locus of
place.
control.
Locus like place, I believe.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Location.
yeah, locus.
Locust. Yeah, that's different. Yes, like
Location.
place. Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
It's
Yes,
place.
pronounced locus though.
it is pronounced locust, but you're
Oh, with the T?
That's what
It
you
is
said.
pronounced.
Maybe I have a speech impediment or just locus.
You
Maybe
just
both.
need to
Are you
talk to
familiar with it,
firewood or
Jörg?
something.
Internal locus of control.
I
I say
totally
things
understand
differently.
what you're saying. You explained
Please.
it greatly, bro.
All right, perfect. So with that, in forgiving things, it's a lot easier when you can operate from the internal locus of control, right? Like I made a mistake. That was my fault. I set that person off. Perhaps they were having a bad day. I wasn't being thoughtful or considerate. Therefore, I can forgive myself. Therefore, maybe forgive them for their perceived transgressions. But with
Thank you
that,
for
you know,
all
You're
that, bro.
overcomplicating. You're overcomplicating the fact we all click and I agree every time we leave the damn house. You agree you may be hit by a car. You agree you may put up with someone making your coffee named effing Provo Kid that can't just make my coffee right and not give me his metaphysical crap. And then I might go on a panel that's entertaining the woman that claims I'm a pedo, and she's being hosted by a man that
what a
went to college at
diversion.
UN. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this.
Yes, don't penalize us to follow
Keep
you there,
going
though. You
in that
love doing
direction.
that.
Just keep
Give the
going.
man, give the man 2 minutes. Give the man 2 minutes
See,
before I
even
boot
the
him.
host is telling the producer's telling you this guy it's his turn now. And I was rolling. That was called cooking, and y'all don't smell cooking when it's happening right in
You
front
know
of you.
all
So
about
I'm gonna start
cooking.
over. So I come on this panel.
Where's the peanut oil?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
let me say that he
All
had a
right.
point, and I see where he is
no.
going. We do wait,
Well, yeah, what did you
wait.
kick him,
We
Moose?
do agree when we go out the house, blah blah blah. But in order for him to teach us that lesson, he feels like he gets to belittle you and call you names. You got to suck it up because I have something that's important that makes sense. That's not fair, Tommy.
Hey, Joe, he was having fun. He was
At someone else's expense.
entertaining. Well, dude,
Yeah,
that's
see,
what most of these panels do is they have fun at each other's expense, and that's one of the ways Tommy presents himself.
There's a
I
lot of
understand
people
that,
that do
Jack,
He's
but
he's fun.
hey, I gotta say something here. Provo Kid is a respected person on the panel. He's been repeatedly attacked by the people in our chat. He's been repeatedly attacked by people who want to come up on the panel and just talk shit. It's just rude. It's just
I
rude
didn't
to
recognize.
host somebody like that. So no, I'm not saying it's your fault, Jack. I'm just saying
No.
to the people out there, like it's just fucking rude and crude, and we're trying to be
Hey,
better than that.
Yeah.
Moose,
Let
thank you.
let
And
him try to pull
Provo.
me down.
No,
All right.
brother, God bless. I wasn't aware of the other stuff going on in chat. I don't give it as much attention until Moose brings
Well,
it
that's a
to my
good thing that Moses is here to do it,
I
right?
know.
You can
Amen.
concentrate more on what you're talking about and in the panel and shit.
Amen. And Provo's a good dude. Tommy's another good dude. I mean, he's got a personality and a good heart. Please.
Moose, does your daddy know you're not being response able? You are not being honored able right now?
Oh,
Because
fuck.
this is what these words mean. We do not create the definitions of these words. We must action
Well,
these words, and you are not acting them, Moose.
who?
Were you raised by only
Wait,
women?
who are
It's
you?
an honest
I think
question.
he's
No, it's an honest
imitating
question
Paul.
for the
It's a
producer.
spot on
You
Because
chimpanzee.
if he is.
no,
Hey,
listen to me
Tommy,
very carefully.
Tommy, can we interrupt, please? Welcome, brother. It's Friday night.
I
Okay.
can tone it down, but my words are true nonetheless, Jack.
Okay.
Yea, verily.
Allow.
Provo
Right.
Kid. I
Not
think Tommy's operating from an external of
Very
control,
good.
right? Is that good?
Thank you,
I
Yuri.
think so.
Is that a Jackism?
Oh, it's
No,
relevant
no.
to the conversation that we were
Right, but
having.
see, I was giving you free dinner. Like I cook, baby. When I come in with
Well, sometimes
All right, look,
what's
I'll
being
I'll
cooked.
speak for you, Jack. This isn't the right fucking cooking network. You brought your Chinese food to cook at a fucking Thai Thai restaurant, okay? We're cooking Chinese here, and you bring in some fucking Korean stuff, all right? You're at the wrong spot.
It's fusion, Moose. It's fusion, baby.
Jesus. Well, that's not what we're doing here, okay? We're keeping it authentic.
But how can
I'm
you have
confused. Who do I put an order in with?
How can
I
you have
know,
a
right?
panel about forgiveness and then be kicking out people for acting inappropriately? How about that?
Well,
I forgave
I
him.
gotta talk about Tommy for fucking. He is not happy unless the conversation is about him, man. I'm just on some selfish shit. We were fucking learning and all that shit. Tommy is gonna get up here and we got to talk about Tommy. The duration that he's up here.
Hey, Joe, see, here we are. It's a beautiful, this is a real life example. We got, for my opinion, I care about Tommy, and I think many others do too. And
I could give a shit about him.
I think he's onto something. I don't mind
I'm
hating
playing,
and trying to
certainly, I
encourage him
digress.
to do better.
Here, I'll speak for myself then. I care about Tommy. I believe Tommy has care for many people here and elsewhere. But you know, some of the patterns of behavior, they're frustrating. They're interruptive. They're not productive for what we're doing. So what do? Right? We could be upset and fucking, you know, spend the next hour complaining or whatever. But we can also just forgive and establish.
I told everybody actually out in the open here. So she heard it all, and then it went into what happened. Then she had to learn the hard way. And now
I'm muting you up, Scott.
But when you're an internal person and
Sorry
you
about that.
walk around with feelings of having to forgive people, you have no use for the external. You have no use for excuses. You have no use
you have no need for all of that shit suddenly, right?
Right.
Well, and when we here, my mind kind of went somewhere with what you were saying, but the idea is when we get rid of our excuses and blame, we have no more guilt or resentment. We've forgiven. We've shown mercy. Mercy is the key. Mercy is the key.
Yes.
Forgiveness.
Wait, when do we show mercy, right? There was nothing to show mercy about, is there?
Well, mercy to self.
To self?
Yeah, because when we're carrying anger and guilt, fuck, we can be merciless, right?
On ourselves, and we can be merciless on others, but
exactly.
Fuck that. It's not my job. My job to judge others. I don't. If I understand, let me try to finish this. It's not my job to judge these people. Once I understand that shit, I'm less invested. If they did something that I deem wrong, I'm not doing my job by attacking them and making their job less miserable. I give that shit up.
Did I get kicked or did my phone mess up?
Oh, I was hoping you was watching this shit, bro.
I think that was your phone, brother. I don't
just
even know. You didn't even say
phone.
anything.
New phone.
Well, welcome.
What dude just said, Jack just said, oh girl, when you get rid of blame and excuses, then something. He just said something great. I was trying to remember that to tell you that exact line. I hope you heard it.
I've been watching. I went back and listened for 20 minutes, like you asked, and then at 2 times speed, and then came up.
Thank you. We was talking about this exact shit earlier today.
For like 8 hours.
That's my man, Tenth, man. We're in a group chat. Just our 4 best friends got a little group chat just for ourselves.
All right. I'm sure there's more to the story that I don't.
It was just, we don't need more, but it's exactly, we were talking about the forgiving and shit for hours today. I hop up here and this is what you're talking about. I was like, Ted, go listen to this shit. Yeah.
Well, Joe, your path, there's a message. Resentments or something, brother. You don't seem the type. You don't seem like you got a lot of resentments or guilt about you.
I don't got resentments. I may have to forgive myself for some things, but I don't have any problem forgiving others immediately. You do not do me no harm and all of that shit. Like Tommy, I don't have to forgive him for what he's doing. I just, You know, the conversation was where I wanted. I'm just being a baby. I want my way.
Hey, Joe,
And you
you
actually, in all this practice, you guys, you give yourself a gift, and that gift gives other people a gift, and that is the gift of acceptance. And you learn who people are, and even if you don't like specific traits, you can learn to just accept them as a human with very specific traits or personalities. And like I said before, nothing can get in unless you let it get in.
well, one of the things I do want to really kind of bring back into the conversation too is the benefit found from forgiveness. Because seriously, when we've got, when we've got memories and looping thoughts of guilt or resentment, specific names or events keep coming up in our head, that means there's something unresolved. And that confusion will keep us unrest, right? And see, the disease of the body starts with the disease of the mind, because when we end up with diseased minds filled with confusion and resentment and guilt, then we don't do the proper things to care for ourselves physically and socially, spiritually. But this is the point. We can all change. We can all change, like one day. Just challenge yourself. You know, whoever maybe those memories from the past, things from the past, challenge yourself one day and ask, why not? Why can I not forgive?
Can I just tell a little story? I raise puppies. So I did a lot of research, from other trainers and stuff to really just, I trained dogs before, but I wanted to get better at it. And one of the things I found remarkable was one of the trainers was dealing with an abused animal. And I thought, hey, I really want to pay attention to this because it's not something you see a lot of, trainers actually working with an abused animal.
Yeah.
And there were people there asking this person was a teacher, so they were asking questions. And they were asking the teacher why the teacher wasn't more empathetic to the animal about the situation. And the teacher was so matter of fact. In the animal's mind, it's already lived through the situation. It's already moved past that. And as humans, we feel the need because we remember things to be like, oh, Pup just went through that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
We're actually re-traumatizing an animal and bringing an energy into its presence that it let go of the moment after the situation was over. So
Yeah.
I think as humans, we kind of do it to ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, so we relive and re-traumatize and keep going over that situation and firing ourselves up and making us angry again. We relive it over and over.
Because we think there's something we can do. And we need to forgive ourselves for that passion because there is something we can do. We're just looking in the wrong direction. And the biggest thing that we can do with what we've experienced is the way we behave afterwards.
Yes, change yourself.
Praise God.
Well,
I have a question.
Oh, sorry. Just real quick to answer Jack's question directly. Jack asked, "Why do people hesitate to forgive?" And from my personal experience, Jack, I would say it's because you don't feel that the wrong is truly recognized or that the behavior has changed. That's why people usually don't give in to the forgiveness spirit.
And those aren't good reasons, by the way, but that's why it occurs. But those aren't horrible reasons.
No, those are great reasons at one level. At the ultimate spiritual level, Joe, they're not good reasons, but at a base level, they're very good reasons.
I think the same theory holds base level and virtual level.
I think as we're all newbies doing it, we really do hope to achieve that higher level eventually, but it really takes diligence on our part to be able to get there. We have to push through the
wait, Jack. Let's stay with Yurt for a minute. Yurt, with that line of thinking, then don't we lead back to because he won't do a thing, I don't have to forgive, or I am unwilling to forgive. You've put yourself back into the thing that our philosophy takes you out of.
Absolutely. And I think this is beautifully said in the Lord's Prayer, right? Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It's an internal relationship with forgiveness. It's really not about anybody else.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that. But that still doesn't mean I got to let you come rob my house, hurt my family.
That's got nothing to do with forgiveness.
No, I know that's a practical base level. That's a practical base level, though, Joe. I'm not
Well, I think people get it confused, Yurt. They think forgiveness means to not lock your door at night. Forgiveness means to go back
Right,
and
that's
the
not
perpetrator,
forgiveness.
and that's
That's
not
dumb.
what it
Hey,
means.
Homestead, here, hold on. Let me interrupt for just a moment. Provo, you were trying to say something a few times.
Oh no, I think everything that's been echoed, I can't echo it
Okay.
anymore. I think it's, I think it's a great conversation. But when I was just saying, when you're ready to transition, let's just hear some more people's thoughts, and maybe even your breakdown personally after Yurt's wise words.
Thank you, brother. I kind of wanted to jump in here too, though, because I disagree with what Yurt said. Did he leave? Oh no, there he is.
No, I'm listening.
I agree with what Joe was describing. There's kind of this standard, but here's the thing. At some point, we've got to accept responsibility for judging. Who the fuck are we to judge sometimes? And really, we free our lives. My life, here, I'll speak for myself. My life became better when I consciously stopped trying to label and judge everyone and everything. And I stopped putting labels and judgment on people when I created a pattern of being curious, because I don't know why someone snapped at me. I don't know why someone cut me off. I don't know a lot of things.
I don't have to know. It does not even come into play. I'll do mind games and just practice and shit to see how sharp I am, but it won't really affect me. Some guy curses me out, fuck you, you fucking dumb so and so. I might say, why did he do it? But it's nothing to forgive him for. Blah blah blah.
Hey, and true, that's the other part I touched on this earlier. Part of wisdom is increasing your awareness, right? Being aware of more things, but knowing what to ignore, knowing what things that you know are relevant and which ones are not. And I know that for me to be happy, I got to have gratitude. So I gave up this shit of judging people. I love you. I love everybody. And
Jack, if you don't have that gratitude, what happens to you?
That is
Oh,
the
you get
creepiest I
miserable.
love you I've ever heard. Sorry, Jack. Like, I can tell that you want to, like, come in and put an axe to my head. Like, it puts the lotion on.
No. Actually, how can one practice discernment without judging? This is an interesting question.
Yes.
Okay. And I've tried narrowing this for myself and tried explaining it before, but discernment and judgment, it's obviously you're weighing the factors and you're coming to a conclusion. But I think the distinction comes in what's beyond the conclusion.
Right.
So I review relevant factors A through Z, and I discern that Joe was the problem.
Right.
Well, judgment comes in when we bring
Now
in punishment.
judgment comes in. Is it my job to hurt Joe, and to what level, to what degree? I stay away from that.
Well,
bro.
what
Fuck
quickly
that
follows
shit.
judgment is condemnation. So that's when your brain starts going into judging the level of condemnation.
Good point. So
Yes.
judgment would come to condemnation. Well, to blame is in there too. Well, maybe that is condemnation.
Maybe blame is in there too.
Blame, condemnation,
Blame
and then
comes through
punishment.
judgment.
Blame and condemnation are the same thing. to my
Right, and
understanding.
blame and
Yeah,
judgment may
I think
not be
so.
the same thing. If
No.
I think so and so is to blame, I don't have to pass judgment on it.
Right,
Well, and conversely, if we go through discernment, we come to the same distinction that there is an application of responsibility.
And discernment? Okay.
Well, discernment will lead us to a greater understanding. That's
Yes.
what that's where I go in my mind. Is that
right? I'm okay with that. I don't have to have the responsibility after I discern what the issue is. I don't have the responsibility to.
True.
It's like walking past a food shop. You can look at it, you can smell it, you can decide whether you want to go in or not, but that doesn't mean that you're going to tell the next person to burn it down.
it all becomes with discernment we have understanding, and with understanding there's just factors involved, and it's not a blame and judgment, but our life.
When you're done, Jack, I'd like the 10th man to kick in. He's been here. Remember, we haven't given him a chance.
Yes, you know what, bless. Thank you.
Oh no, you guys are just talking. I have one question. Well, I have a lot of questions, but to begin with, is there something that's not forgivable?
I don't think there's such a thing.
Only if you choose it. Because as a man speaketh, so is he. So if you say your action is unforgivable, then you are acting or you are doing a manner in which that is an unforgivable action, in turn setting up events that will make it impossible to forgive that individual.
Right.
Because it all boils back to us.
Exactly.
I kind of agree with Nubs. We each get to decide what is forgivable to us, but then again, we also
we don't. That ain't what Nubs said. He said once you go down that cycle and start deciding what's forgivable, you fucked up already. I think that's what he's saying.
That's the point. I mean, if we want to carry unforgiveness, we're fucking bringing our own misery. So yeah, take that shit to your grave if you want. Hold on to that anger.
Trauma. It's literally returning to the trauma voluntarily over and over and over again.
It is. It's self-created punishment, self-created misery.
Well, when you constantly go into
by the way, well said, Homestead.
When you constantly go into a barbershop and never look to get a haircut, why are you going there in the first place? Does that make sense? Like, and I'm not asking anyone in particular. I'm just asking in general. Like, you go places for particular reasons, and if you go to get your fucking haircut, you're gonna get your fucking haircut one of these days.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do whatsoever?
Yes, it does.
No, I understand what he's saying. So I'll ask Jack just to try to, because I don't want to take over the panel, but just so Jack, I'm trying to think of this. You guys don't know me, so I'm trying to be not too offensive. But so maybe I should just go all out.
Today's about forgiveness.
We'll work our way through it.
Well, no worries.
So I do a lot of soul searching and try to understand why humans do what they do. So what I've come to realize, and it's weird that every time you guys reference like any type of theology and stuff like that, that it kind of triggers me. And I think I kind of came to the realization as to why that is. Because people like to boil things down to the most basic things that it's easy to say in just a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch more than a 3 to 10 minute video. So if you can't, but you know,
where you going, Sam? You're going to confuse the fuck out of me, bro. Come on, get there.
No. When I watch people who quote religious texts, and it doesn't matter which one it is, I've looked into this stuff very, very deeply, and most of them don't understand it. And then if people keep referencing Christianity or Catholicism, New Testament, Old Testament, blah blah blah. And, you know, We're not supposed to understand as per those teachings. So it triggers me watching people try to explain these things, because I don't believe that even they believe that they can explain any of this, because there is no such thing as truth, and there is no such thing.
But doesn't that apply
understand?
to every fucking thing, though? We're just giving our best estimation. The Bible,
Right.
just like any other book or rock or plant, you're just giving your best estimation. I would not get mad because someone is giving me their estimation of why they think the sun shines on your face. Even if they're wrong as fuck, you can't get mad and triggered because the man had a theory.
But I'm trying to set up why I asked the question of is there anything. Go ahead. Sorry.
The fact that you say there is no truth, isn't that a truth claim?
No.
Okay. Well, see,
isn't it true there is no truth in your world?
No.
Based on what you
He's
just
just
said.
jumping around. Yeah, he's just jumping around. I think you.
No.
Well, your words. Okay, then we're already facing a contradiction in your words. So
you're facing a paradox, because once again, you can never understand the words of God.
Well, actually, see, this is your misinterpretation. Okay. Now, please don't project your confusion onto me or others. I'm just speaking for myself. Similar to you, and I'm not trying to, there's no comparison. We're just different paths. Similar to you, I've also dedicated myself to understanding and trying to receive, but I didn't lie to myself saying I could not know, that it could not be explained. I just knew that I may not be able to explain it or know it perfectly. But I think I'm improving pretty fucking well, and the words that are from me, there's no preparation or time spent. I mean, this is just truth that's coming through. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about not you, dude. No. You're losing. I'm talking about in a general sense of all humanity, not you guys up here specifically.
Well, here's a better question: why would it trigger you that someone is just trying to discover truth?
Because
the question is,
just like it would trigger me a child with a gun.
Ooh, wow. Whoa.
Wait, so the person learns the truth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. That brings up, you're not ready to know. That brings up this arrogance.
Government.
Well, this BS that one person cannot understand what another can, and that's BS. Truth is the only thing that's important. Tell you what, brothers and sisters, human beings, figure out what is true, because that is the only thing that's important. And if you think you can't know, well, guess what? You're probably hiding past memories and excuses from shit from your past, telling yourself, I can't understand this. I can't forgive this.
Hey, Jack, therefore, other people cannot either. If you deem yourself where you can't find it, no one else is worthy. He's on a fool's errand, that asshole.
And to remind everybody, it's not the Bible that says we don't use our entire brain. It's scientific human beings that say that.
Yes. Which they
there
went
are
back
a lot
on
of people that do not use their entire brain.
When
Well,
I was
I
a
can't
kid,
argue with that.
remember 10% was
to
the
say
shit.
we have a big brain in our head. And
No, as for that reference that you're using, because I watched a scientist re-explain that, and that was actually taken out of context. And what it was that at that time, we only had the capacity to see what that percentage of the brain was used for. Not that that's all the brain that we used.
Agreed. And scientists run around saying you only use 10% of your brain. That always sounded like bullshit. As a kid, I said that was bullshit.
I think the Egyptians knew a little bit better than scientists today, because they knew all that shit.
Fuck yes, that was simple shit to them, right?
sorry.
The kids knew that.
I'm a little confused. 10th said there is no truth, but he just said, he just said a scientist and what the scientist said and put that in a position of truth. So what is truth? Is the scientist telling the truth, or like what
No.
were you in? No. Okay, well, then,
That's not what the discussion is.
No, that was a great fucking point.
Well,
Somebody
that
else
was a
brought
valid
that up
point.
earlier.
Please.
No, I
10.
said that people had misquoted that study.
Okay, but in regards to the
And how you know that? Because the scientist told you that you read something, so you're taking that as truth. That's Provost's point.
and
that's a good point. That's a good point. But I got to jump in here real fast. We got LIG in the house. Mr. Life is good. Life is good. I feel good. Good things are always happening to me. Welcome to the show today. We appreciate you.
Hola. Hi, Jack. I owe you an apology. I was drunk when I talked to you the last time.
Perfect day for it. Jack forgives.
He set you up good, Jack. Go ahead.
Right, that's the layup, Jack.
That's interesting. Thank you, and thank you for offering that. But let me just point out too, an apology with an explanation. While the explanation may be an excuse, does that right the wrong?
Hey, Jack.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
sorry. Could you please forgive me?
No, hey, brother, you are forgiven. You are welcome. And actually, Aaron, life is good. Thank you, brother. I hope this is the first visit. I don't remember if we ever did get online here together, but I hope you come back again later.
Well, it just happened to work out. My girlfriend's out of town, and I saw you were online. It showed up on my feed, and I'm like,
wait,
okay, right, here we
so
go.
are you cheating on your girlfriend with me? Is that what you're saying?
Just a little bit.
It's like Netflix
But
cheating along those lines.
Right.
I have been listening for a minute, and I wanted to talk about forgiveness also because it's a powerful thing when you can forgive other people. I heard somebody else say it's an internal thing, and it truly is. And when you forgive others,
excuse me, somebody's got an
releases.
echo. Make sure your YouTube isn't on. Someone has an echo.
I have an
And,
echo.
it might be Homestead.
I'm on headphones, and
Moose, is that you, Moose?
That's Jack listening to Paul's show.
What the fuck? What are you doing listening to Jack? Jack, come on, man. Don't listen to Paul's show.
We're down over here. No, I'm joking, Jack.
Who's listening to Paul's show?
No, I stepped away for a moment. I heard the chaos. I thought Aaron was starting in, and Aaron usually has some pretty good thoughts on words and forgiveness. I thought that was going to roll for a minute. I don't know what
it
happened.
was rolling. It was just an echo.
Yeah, I didn't. I heard the
Hopefully
echo.
we got it
I
straight.
hear the echo a little bit right now. Is it
I
still
think
going?
you're good. No, I think you're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So forgiveness is for yourself, not others. And that's
Uh-huh.
what a lot of people have no idea about or understanding of. When you forgive somebody else, you're letting go of whatever resentment, pain, stuff that you're
Yes.
feeling inside
Yeah.
that is affecting you, not them. They said, I heard this before, where it's like drinking a poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
That's what forgiveness is. If you forgive them, you let go of that poison. You just
you
let
stop
them
taking
be.
it. Yeah.
Let
Don't
them
you
be.
think it's more like giving yourself permission to let go?
Well, that's
Hey,
part of the process. Yeah.
Actually, that's where I wanted to jump in, because what you were saying is absolutely true. This forgiveness is a blessing for ourselves, but so many people have been taught self-judgment, and so many people are so critical of themselves.
Yes.
They won't allow themselves the mercy
Yeah.
of forgiveness.
Which means they will be the hardest on others. If they can't grasp that concept, they will be super
Well,
hard on others. The shit he did 3 years ago, they're still fucking talking about.
hey, Joe, actually, with all due respect, I wanted to, your words were what inspired the thought. Sometimes with our self-worth,
Yeah.
we will allow others to do shit to us that really should never be accepted. Right?
Yeah. We got to get smarter than that. I mean, don't stand in harm's way when you
Right.
can't take it, blah, blah, blah. But the longer you've been going down the path, the less that shit seems to affect you. You really don't care anymore, man. And
Because it's all
you can do
external
tougher
at that
shit than the
point.
average person. You can go deeper into that area than the average person because it doesn't affect you the way it affects other people.
And for other people, it's really the world is so external, all the stimulation. When I'm in the middle of nowhere, so when I go into a city, it's very obvious to me the external stimulation is so loud that you actually got to practice tuning that out.
Right on. I hear you.
Hey, I'm gonna run with that because that is the key. Again, learn what to tune out, what to ignore, but don't make yourself ignorant. Don't place yourself into
That
denial.
doesn't benefit you, right?
And pay attention to your own patterns, right? What are you experiencing each day? And if you're putting yourself in a place where you got to forgive the same person over and over and over, it's time to fucking change.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Change.
did you hear what
And-
Jack said? It is time to change. I don't know where you were going to go with that, but you have to do an action, and it's usually going to be something yourself have to do. It ain't, I'm going to force that guy to change. It doesn't lay there. You're going to end up changing yourself.
Amen.
I could not agree more. And honestly, that's my role in this thing, Jack. It's not that I fucking hate you. That'd be stupid. That'd literally be stupid. But look at you. Look at you now. You have fucking Nubs Revenge talking to you, and you are not putting me in timeout because I have a difference of opinion. You have actually, this entire broadcast.
No, you didn't. No,
See,
you
there
didn't.
you go. No, there you go, Moose. Moose is
Sorry,
throwing off.
sorry. That was
seriously.
technical
That was
difficulty.
beautiful.
In all
difficulty right
seriousness,
there.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
I'm very proud of you, Jack. Not that
Perfect
that matters
timing.
a damn thing, because I'm not anybody to you. But nevertheless, I see growth, and that is what I have been
do
after since the very beginning. I have no fucking animosity. And I think that if you put forth a good effort in changing yourself, I think just like the rest of us, when we do better, we are better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You'll
that's
be able to
not
wait
not
until-
directed towards you specifically, but the place that I can speak on is being, guess what, Jack? At one point, my son will tell you at one point, I was a horrible fucking father. I was. Me personally. Today, not so much. And when I saw you coming out onto a panel and saying this is the occurrence, this is the outcome, I saw places that you sure could improve. There was a lot of good advice and you chose not to take it. You have chosen to take a better path by even listening to me in the first place, because you're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You know, that's why Moose has me up here in the first place. I would
Hey, Moose,
assume.
my patience is getting exhausted.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's not forgiven today. We got to move on though. We've got
Wasting our
Aaron up
fucking
here.
time. He's been disrespecting me repeatedly. Has never offered any apologies. Now he's defending his ignorance.
We're gonna keep it positive on the weekend,
Wow.
man. This is positive.
Wow.
I'll take care of it.
Never
Nubs,
mind. I
Nubs,
retract my
I'm
last
sorry.
statement.
Your denial
That
is
growth
fucking
thing.
impressive.
All right,
man.
Jack, back on topic, brother. Back on topic. Provo Kid's here. He
We
just
got
popped open.
come on, you were about to show your beautiful face to the world.
No, I was just saying hello. I actually got to run, but Jack, I do got to say, and I love seeing your journey here and seeing what you and Moose are trying to accomplish and all this. But I see this and explain this to me, and it connects to forgiveness. I see
He
I
has
don't
not
even know. I don't
forgiven
want to
Nubs.
say,
He
you know what?
has not forgiven Nubs. Let's say that. He has not
Yeah,
forgiven
there you
Nubs
go.
for
So
damn
cool. Thank
sure.
you.
Not today, yes.
Well, here, part of, you know, our lives are really based on our vocabulary.
Agreed.
And it wasn't until I really started digging into the spiritual teachings that words like repentance, contrition,
Yeah.
things like those really started. They were never part of my thought process, but I've spent a lot of time considering the words, the truth that I know. And so Nubs and Yurt, you know, I know you guys are here to enjoy the show and to do your part. And you think you've done your part in helping me grow.
They do.
But the thing is,
You're projecting,
No, but he's
Jack.
going well. I'm going to
No, he's assuming my intentions here. That's not my intentions here.
Oh,
Yeah, your
really?
intentions are to
Okay.
make them grow. You can continue, Jack.
Forgive my perception based on what I've experienced, but you know,
Well,
you're.
and I checked my perceptions, Jack, about you. I checked mine and stopped myself.
So you say.
That's true. That is true. Hey,
So
Jack,
you
Jack,
say.
Austin has actually come up here pretty damn respectful.
Well,
We're getting on the 2-hour mark over here. We're over 2 hours.
I know.
I think
trying to-
that's what's going on. You're getting tired. You're getting tired.
Well-
Your patience is running thin.
Brother Moose,
Um,
respectfully, let's not tell Jack where he's at physically, emotionally, like he's not tired. Let's take a
You're
step
right,
off
brother.
of Jack's toes. You need to be a little bit more
All right.
respectful, please.
And Yurt, if
Well-
I argue with you for another 10 minutes, you will admit that you are here to improve, Jack, and that you are trying to improve with your words.
God,
Well,
we have so many good points
here,
right
let
here.
me-
I'm not trying to claim a tech issue, but you're saying, Joe Cool, that is what I'm here to do, is to disrupt Jack?
I said improve, not disrupt. Improve.
Oh, respect. Yeah, and I not only that,
Right.
I'm seeing improvement that I find interesting, which is why I'm showing up and engaging in this conversation on this panel.
Right.
I see the
Can-
spark
Right
in
on.
him of value. It's not a totally
Right on.
valueless thing, or I wouldn't be here.
Right on, baby. Yeah.
May I please offer a perspective? I know you felt the need to interrupt me and have a conversation with Joe about me.
My apologies. I pushed that because I didn't want him
I
saying what
know.
he said. Yeah.
I know, and you were correcting that, and I pay attention. Thank you.
All right.
But I don't want people to be deceiving themselves. I mean, I'm a very forgiving man, but I'm not a fucking fool. I know when people's intentions are not pure. I know when people are saying things and manipulating facts for the
Very
purpose
good.
of their own.
I just gained a lot of respect for you right now.
Well, where I was going is the problem of in the bigger picture, besides what's being been demonstrated until now, what has been demonstrated on this panel and many others, and is just an evidence of our entire society, is denial. Okay, denial of responsibility, accountability, no care for the accuracy of words. There's a severe
My words
lack
come
of
from your mouth,
respect.
buddy. That all I know is from your mouth. So if it's a severe lack of respect, etc., that's from yourself.
So you claim.
And see, here's the
I'm
thing. I
telling
live
you,
very
Nub,
clearly
Nub,
by a couple of rules.
Nub.
Love the
Okay,
Most High
so,
and
all
love
right,
your neighbor
so
as
again-
yourself. If
Again,
if you
don't
have a
wanna
problem where
consider-
you see
It
me
sounds to me
lacking,
like somebody's scared to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, let Jack speak, for Christ's sake.
Well, this is the point. What we're dealing with, this is egoic nonsense. This is what I've been studying. And this YouTube has been a beautiful, beautiful place for me to observe
Crash
the
course. I agree.
patterns of behavior of different
Yes,
humans.
it's the greatest psychologist's dream, isn't it, bro?
Well, I'm a simple man who's figured out how to use the gifts that God has allowed me, right?
Praise
Fucking
God.
technology, my brain, my heart,
Yes.
my body. No one wants my body, so I'm here trying to get my mind and my heart out here. So,
And all of this might make you lose your thought, but in all of human history, this has never been possible. What we're doing, even when we were younger, we had like one phone line, and even when we had the internet, this was not a thing where you could see motherfuckers' face and see their expression to what you say. That was never been a thing throughout the whole hundreds of thousands of years that humans have been here.
Shouldn't we, though, anticipate that there's going to be this reaction from
Agreed,
people?
we should.
Okay, we can anticipate it, but we don't have to enable it or continue
Agreed.
to tolerate it.
Agreed.
And-
Those are two different things, though. You know,
Right.
she is saying anticipated. We should expect people to fumble through this shit, see the worst and the best of it. And what you said, we don't have to be a victim of. We learn, which is what me and you do, Jack. And then you apply some shit to change it and shape it and mold it the way you want. Get what you want out of it. I know that's what I do, bro. I come up here and use you niggas, man. I'll be like, some smart guys over there. What question do I have? I hop up here and use your brains to solve my fucking questions and problems.
Well, admittedly, I'm hoping to improve the comfort, the order, the fun, and the conversations. I'm hoping to improve this channel and what we're doing here to the point where when we extend invitations for others with bright minds, you know, innovative ideas, well, I'm hoping to get some great conversations going
I think
here.
you already get that, bro. We're not big name motherfuckers, man.
Not yet.
But we do well, bro.
Well, we do, but there's still a lot of chaos that people are bringing, and here, this is the dilemma of humanity, right? Each of us has a gift, a talent, something amazing to offer. These fucking insecurities and arrogances, though.
Yes.
People coming up trying to impose their authority, their superiority over others, or others just seeking
rises
attention.
from insecurity. Rises from insecurity. I gotta get up there and immediately show myself in a position of dominance, reassert my, who has those fucking ideas when they hop on a fucking panel?
Well, it's like I see many times. I had this discussion with my husband last night, and I'm like, if that person knew they were right, they would not be arguing this hard.
Agreed, right? You would not be all emotionally invested and all of that shit. I am telling you.
That can't be true. That can't be true. A
No,
lot
really,
of our arguments.
you're different. You look like Jordan Peterson in the heated debate. You won't be losing your shit because you're so sure about what you're saying. The person who is like, how can you say that? Well, what do you mean? That's the person that's unsure.
And tripping over their own ego.
It's always ego. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to disrupt this conversation.
So,
That's what it is.
I say that because, Jack, I've watched a lot. I'm an observer, and I've watched a lot of stuff. And I hate talking truth for people, so I say this out of love. I pose this question to you out of love because I've been in the position myself. I feel like, Jack, you're sick and tired of answering certain questions.
It's clear. That's a given, right? That's clear.
Been
I don't
months
even.
and months, right? Months. I wasn't even a part of it for months. I just been observing, and through my observation, I'm like, this guy is getting tired of the questioning. And I say that because I'm 2,000 miles away from my family, because I'm the one that thought outside the box. And it was my family, all of them, who swallowed the jagged little pill with their Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And no matter what I said, no matter what receipts I brought, they wouldn't trust, they wouldn't understand, they wouldn't open their minds. It didn't matter what I said. You know what?
Too.
I gave myself permission to move on because it just wasn't worth the brain power to try to get through certain people like my family who willfully put the earphones on, who willfully put the blinders in front of their eyes. I still love them, but I can't personally invest in trying to change a person's mind that they themselves won't change their mind.
Can I respond to some of
Sure,
that?
absolutely.
And Moose, just so thank you for bringing my awareness to the time. And if you need to bounce out, feel free. Okay, just
It's Friday night,
all right.
and we're
There you go.
feeling all right.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Polly's coming. Yeah,
I'm
Polly might be coming in.
Oh.
I know that, you
Very
wanted
cool.
him to come over here, so I reached out to him. I know that not everybody on the panel, wants to sit
Well-
here and listen, but get your talking in now before he comes. Let's get our discussions in
All right.
while we still have a chance and an opportunity to do that, please.
Hey, and actually, thank you. We do have an order, Moose and I, we kind of put together get on the same page, and 2-hour mark is where we were at, but I'm enjoying this. These are the conversations I love having, about important stuff we all deal with. Forgiveness and communication and different experiences. So these are cool.
Frustration, right?
And we do have some all-star guests here. So subscribe, share, whatever.
And if you could just answer me so that you could get it out of your body. Are you fed up with answering questions? Are you fed up with having to carry receipts everywhere with you?
Hey, sister, thank you. Some of my frustration has come out. And when you were asking, I was trying to figure out the right answer. I am frustrated because for 5 years, since 2018, I've had the idea that if I could get the attention of authority, that I might be able to do something, not only for myself, but for others. And it hasn't happened yet. And
it's happening.
Well, today, part of this too, it didn't strike me until we were deep into the show, but Forgiveness Friday, fuck oh dear, I would do anything to have my son just hear the conversations that we're having.
He might be watching and you don't
Yeah,
even know.
and patience,
You've already
Jack.
put it out there. That's how God works, right?
And everything ain't got to happen the day we just started having these conversations. God plan maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, in a bar somewhere, he sees you and so, blah, blah, blah. You fucking relax, man.
Amen.
Yeah,
That's right. Hey, Jack, we got a new
Welcome,
guest here.
Paul.
Would you like to, there you go.
Welcome, brother. Good to see you.
Those
How
good,
are
Paul.
you,
You can
Jack?
certainly add to this, Paul. All this shit's been up your alley.
Where's my buddy Aaron Spiegel been? Life is good. I feel good. Good things are always
Life is
happening to
good.
me. He hasn't been on my
feel
channel.
good. Good things are always happening to me.
This is
Hi,
one
Paul.
thing that how are you, Aaron? This is one thing
I'm
Jack
great.
is known for, is he's known for making a very comfortable, soft place for everyone to land.
I like
Not
that.
so much. Right?
I'm
Not
gonna
so
say
much.
this.
Even the
I'm gonna
folks who
say
love
this.
me don't want
This
to
is
be
the
on
first
panel
time
with
I've
me.
been on here for probably a month and a half at all.
I
I don't.
think
good
I haven't
me
figured.
yesterday, so I didn't feel comfort, but I felt forgiveness, and I had an open mind to be able to come up here and try again with Jack, because I know that
Love
we can
it.
get on a conversation.
Hey, see, Paul, so I'm running them away too, man.
I love it.
Right, but the reality of it is that this is like oftentimes a them problem, it would seem to me, because I can yell, hey, let's practice now. Oh my God, Aaron, I'm yelling at you. You're the worst person ever. Wow, he's like generally unaffected. So if you're that much affected by yelling and or the critique, maybe there's something to look at. If
You're
not,
absolutely
you're not
right, Paul. I
used
had
to
the same
moving
thought.
through the storm. Sorry, sir, I was talking
you're
while
right.
someone
I
was
just
interrupting.
saying,
That happens
you're
a lot.
absolutely right. I was just agreeing. You're right.
You can agree. It's best to agree after I'm done speaking.
Oh, obviously you've never met Joe Cool. I'd like to introduce you to Joe Cool.
Right. No, we've met, and that's one of his habits. He gets all stoned up, he lays back, and he thinks he's on the block with the boys. And
Like,
he's gonna start
yeah,
doing
that's
like
right on,
African
brother.
Americans,
Yeah,
like when they're
yeah.
at church. Right, say it. And I go, hold on, Jack.
Right.
Joe, you're scaring the white people.
Wait till he feels the spirit.
Right.
Holy cows.
Where's
Hey,
your face, Paul?
You want my beautiful likeness? There it is in all its glory.
Oh, Thank you.
Jack just climaxed. Did you hear that?
I did.
I just came.
Oh, I felt us merge again. I've been deprived all day. The schedule didn't match up.
Well, Daddy's here, Jack. I love you.
It's good to
I love
see
you
you.
too, brother. I love you too. Hey, we're having interesting and good conversations, I feel, about the topic of forgiveness, the
Well, you're making
benefits
me want
of
to
it,
smoke.
some of the steps to do it.
Now, Jack, I just want to be clear, just so you don't feel like you were on the conversation. I just got done telling my audience that there's a very good chance that we're having the same experience, but that from my perspective, you're misinterpreting it, and you may go postal one day. And it's not your fault, really, because I did use the word insane. And again, I don't want there to be this thing where, like, because again, I've been characterized as insane. At one point, I agree, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, like ending legal secrets and wars. And, you know, so I go, Jack is like, he's got a good heart. He's insane because he's taken on a task that is insurmountable. And if it doesn't get done, I'm worried about him, even if he becomes successful and gets all the money and pussy. With the help of Moose, right? That at one point you're going to strangle one of these hookers and scream out like you did that night, "Fuck you, Jesus," right? Like you did on my panel, and that's what I'm concerned about. Okay, and it's only because I love you and care for you, and I got to be, you know, I got to shoot straight. As always.
Paul, after meeting you, I don't think you have to worry about that. Okay, and here's why. Last
You're
night,
going to call me when you have the hooker in the trunk?
No,
And I got her back there. What do I do, Paulie? No, Jack. You're supposed to call me before you put her in the trunk. Right. I can't help you now.
I don't know your method nor the way to accurately describe what I saw, but I fucking admire you so much. Last night, after a long day, whatever, the day was over, I'm heading to bed. I turn YouTube on and I see Paul still fucking streaming. I'm like, what the hell? He started before, he's still going. And I knew you disappeared, but I didn't know what happened. And so I turn it on, and literally my voice is being used as a torture mechanism for fucking house guests who won't leave.
And that's one of the pieces of value you bring to my broadcast. So I'm able to use you at 2.25 speed to put these people through a ritual known as purification through suffering, right? And the masters are familiar with that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
They respond
Paul,
to that.
Well, the compassion and
Jack,
hold on.
are you offering this man forgiveness for using your likeness to terrorize people, try to get
Here he
them out of the
goes
house?
again, the
Hey.
victim advocate. He's
No.
gonna like
Gonna forget
inflate Jack's ego
You
and
know-
sense of victim entitlement, and Jack's not even going for it. He's like, "Are you kidding?"
Actually,
The best
no,
thing Paul can do is keep
Did you
using
see
my
him
voice
smile,
like this.
Paul?
It's
Did
more
you see him
promotion.
laugh?
Stop
It
it,
was
Moose.
missing
the
You're a
point.
little miscreant. I know
He
what
was-
you're up to over here, and I'm not letting go of you.
You're
He's having
mad.
fun.
Right now,
You're
and right now,
mad.
this is what you
I'll-
did too.
I'll be
I'm
producing
merging
your
again,
show in
bro.
3 weeks.
Shut up. This is why I can't have him as a producer. I never could. I'm merging with Jack right now, and you just fucking cut right in on that to make it about some nonsense. It's age into chaos again. Well, there he is.
Hey, hold on. I actually want to encourage you, Paul. Please, and I'm grateful to see that my voice was used as a torture device, used in the method it was, because the care you just expressed to me, the concerns of me, my heart was just bleeding with compassion as my eyes was fucking tearing up from laughter.
It's
Holy
funny.
shit.
Yes, because it's funny.
Yeah.
We're having fun, man.
Yeah.
And I got a panel of insane people up there last night that won't leave. So I
Oh.
had to have you laughing insanely with music in the background just to kind of drive that home that we're in a
Oh, no.
sanitarium over there.
That's what I mean. I went back and looked a little closer today. It was like you left after a long day, you know, doing you, and it was a fucking 2-hour close up. And it was like these guests would not leave.
Oh, and I
And
never left. That's the thing. It looked like I left. I put myself down, but then I have to babysit them. And this is what I say. The Christ is being goes to the folks who need the most. It's not to the rich people, right? Even the middle class white people. It's the insane, broken,
I agree.
spiritual children who literally can't leave my broadcast because they need a daddy so bad. They need some
Right.
source of nurturing and completion. And it's very sad to witness, right? So I try to make something out of it because if not, I might cry. I might sit on the edge of my bed and cry tears for these people. It's very sad.
Hey, you know what's
Paul,
actually
you just said the
disturbing me right
Christ
now is
being goes
Jack.
to the what? What was it, Paul?
Hey,
Just say
Jack
the
kind of looks
Christ
like Robin Williams right now. Take a look
I'll
at
give
him
you
for a
the Dow
second.
translation. The Dow flows. Okay, good job.
Hold
There we
on, hold
go.
on.
Cover my face with the comment.
Right.
Back to Jack. Maybe back over. Right. Take
Does
the
it?
comment
Hey,
down.
just look for a second. Doesn't he kind of look like Robin Williams in a way?
Yes, I go for that. Yes, I can see
Really?
it.
Right,
With the
and much
beard,
like
when
Robin
he had the
Williams,
beard. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
contemplating hanging himself from the door frame that's in front of him with you as a producer, because that's what I'm thinking.
The
You
Christ
bring up
being
Robin
when you
Williams,
get a
World
chance.
I
recording
start
has
considering
gone.
hanging myself.
Mrs. Doubtfire, which Robin Williams are we talking about?
No, Goodwill Hunting.
Let's.
Robin
Hey,
Williams. What'd you say, please, before I forget? The Christ being goes to the
He
afflicted or
just did
something?
it again, by the way, because Robin Williams was insane and suicidal. So he
right.
comes in on Jack and goes, "There he is, Robin Williams, insane
Hey,
and
I don't
suicidal."
know
it's
about
like you're
that.
some type of
He was,
genius, Moose.
he was
Why was
also
he in?
very
Hold on,
You
hold
can't
on, hold on. Why was Robin Williams insane?
All right, I
exactly. You
like it.
can't
I
just
like it,
believe
sir.
whatever you see on the TV because they tell you
Okay,
what
so like,
you're
when
supposed to
pretty
know,
much
right?
right, and yet, but you might be able to believe the countless folks from the like underground comedy community who routinely have stories of certain folks who hang around, steal jokes, pay after the fact, and then kill themselves. Right. So, Robin Williams has been on record with a lot of people as somebody who's stolen material, used it, and had to pay people after the fact to go away. And then we know how it ended up. So,
We
when you
got
don't
better
live with your
evidence for
own
his
meaning and
insanity.
purpose and you're constantly like adept at acting like other people, you tend to go insane.
His
Right. So a
family
lot of
said
these
they saw
actors and
signs of it.
musicians, they go insane on drugs and alcohol and kill themselves or each other because they're constantly acting like other people and
Do
taking
you
their
think that
material
he
and
did?
never finding their. It's okay, like just one after the next. I know I talk a
Well,
lot. Go ahead.
Do you
yeah.
think that he did kill himself?
I
I
can't
thought
prove
that
it.
was a given. Wait, didn't that how he
Yeah.
died?
I
Hey
can't
Siri.
prove it one way or the other.
Yeah,
But
all the people that were associated with the Clintons, they killed themselves too.
right, I
This is
know.
what
I
I'm
get it.
getting at.
Every time someone dies, it has to be a grand conspiracy.
Hung by a
Sometimes
doorknob.
maybe folks actually just kill themselves or overdose on drugs because they're insane.
You say he hung on his doorknob. It said suicide by hanging, but
It was
you
a
said he.
chandelier, actually, but yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
different. I
just
can see
saying.
a chandelier hanging by doorknobs reeks of fucking bullshit. No one wants to die like that hanging from a chandelier. That's what rich comedians
You
do.
know, that's
You
an
could also say
interesting
there's a
question.
thin line between genius and insanity. So some might
Yes.
call him a genius. And again, if there's a thin line, it's a slippery slope from being a genius to going insane. I would know.
Well,
Some folks say I'm a genius, and doing this panel, I'm teetering more and more each
partially
day on the edge of
insane.
insanity.
Partially insane. It is. We are. It. The interesting thing is, to me, I thought it was a given. It was a suicide until a question's raised, and then what do we know? What is true? Who knows? But the thought that set in after all of that, all of this shit is happening in our lifetime, right? The Clintons, the Epsteins, the fucking wars, all that shit is really this lifetime, the development of the internet. Joe, you were talking, I remember, dude, I'm like this transition between the old and new. As a kid, we had the outhouse, we had fucking party line telephones with the neighbors.
Yes, we thought we was ahead of the game, right? When you had the party line, you could switch the show.
Yeah, dude. So we're living this history that we've been learning about and we are a part of.
You
I
got
think we've been
everything
doing
at your
shit.
you got everything at your fingertips suddenly. All these things that I had to go to the library and pull out a book and shit like that. Motherfucker can Google it 20 times, 200 times more at their fingertips. What's gonna happen? I had to learn these things in school. I had to learn phone numbers because I had to use them later on down the line. Now you don't have to use a memory. That's not really a thing. Hey Siri, what time is it in East London? You don't have to remember this X amount of hours. Of course, it's gonna change people, and we don't know.
I just want to point out for the future, Moose, just stop buying those subscribers, right? Because, you went up 800, 1,000 in a couple of days, and there's 20 people here, and I had to bring more people over. So clearly those subscribers you're buying are some, mining operation in
Joe
Shanghai.
Cool.
Warehouse full of
I'll do
computers.
better. I'll get right on that. I
Yeah,
get better.
can you buy us the ones that actually interact and actually, I don't even care if they
Where
put a
you get
comment
these
that's
shitty
like,
songs from, Joe?
Yeah, you need
at
more
least
African
let the
Americans over
comments
here.
in there.
That's the thing. It's too white over here. Okay, we need more.
Well, hey, good
We were going to
reminder.
invite Rob Cleveland, but we didn't have enough room.
Yeah, Cleveland, get over here, man. We need more African
No,
American
fuck that.
representation.
Rob doesn't fucking talk enough, right? Fuck that. I'm a
Pretty
jerk
quiet.
about that. I try to push everybody to talk.
There you going over.
Rob just don't talk. Fuck. But
Well,
I don't want.
Let's get back to Jack, if we could.
Well, I say whether or not Robin Williams did commit unaliving, that anytime a person is murdered or does that, it's all of our fault.
Ah, there you go. So I had a feeling that this was another insane person, and he just proved it, because it's somehow my and everyone else's fault in the world when someone chooses to do that action.
No, I'm saying if you
lack of accountability, responsibility.
put
Great. This is
negativity
what we're
out
like
there.
specializing in over here.
Hey, I'll present that.
Great.
Dave.
Okay, so if I ever kill myself or I'm found like with a knee on my back and fentanyl sprinkled on me, you can all take the blame for that. So I'll accept that. The next time I go to jail, by the way, if it happens again, because it's happened before, but actually, I'm going to send some bills to everyone's house here, because I've had quite the
No,
ride.
I think I said murder or unaliving.
Please, sir. No, don't cut me up, because you just said that anytime
You're misrepresenting what I'm saying because you don't understand
well,
it.
especially if that person does some good things, right? So I a lot of people are owing me then, if that's the case.
Well, Paul, there's here.
All right, wait, hold on, Jack. 1 second. I need someone to get Jack's face on the one on the right and my face on the left. If you could do that for us.
There you go, man.
See what I had the beard?
Beautiful. Hey, the
bizarre.
I'm not sure where that comment was coming from, but I can make that argument. Poverty, crime, these things are poverty and addiction are symptoms of a broken connection with others, broken support system, broken within. It's a condition and a symptom of a broken society. If we had a true caring and open society where people showed care for each other, well, then crimes wouldn't be enabled. And
you have some people acting out, but it wouldn't be nothing like it is. I got another way to present that argument. If we are all truly one, truly connected on a submolecular level somehow through our energy fields or vibrations or whatever, then we all add to a collective what we put in. It's not just what Joe does. We're being judged all together. So your good goes in and my bad goes in with your good. It's a soup thing. Therefore, we all are responsible for this cake that we're baking. There's an argument.
It's called LOM. LOM.
The point is, it starts with self. You can't make a grandiose statement like anytime something bad happens, it's everybody's
That's
fault.
not what I said. I said anytime anybody unalives themselves or murders somebody. I gave those two specific examples. You've conflated it into something it's not. Rather than asking questions, you don't like being talked over, but then you misrepresent what people say, and you also talk over others.
You want to skirt, I'm sure, personal accountability and responsibility while then extending that outward to a collectivized idea that doesn't exist. Society doesn't exist. It's an idea. It's a collection of individual men and women who operate one way or another. So how do you even have a society if you have a collection of individuals who are not embodying a lifestyle that would verify that if it was their fault, they'd be the solution to it? So I'll wait for when the same folks who say that it's everybody's fault don't go down to the hospital and to the foster home and to the jail and everywhere else and talk to the least among us, because they ain't going to do it. They're going to say it's everybody's fault.
That's an assumption.
Paul, hold on. The exact same thing you said, Paul, about the collective is for the self. All we are is a collection of memories. That's all we are. So are those fucking memories true? Are we real? You know, all we are.
You're going to forget about like the results. So like when you die, your beingness comes down to your memories, not your results. So if I plant a tree and it grows and shades a whole house that I never get to see for my children, that result isn't there for everyone to see forever. We're just a collection of memories.
That you created a disagreement to deflect from what was said.
You can't make these absolute statements and then not be called on them. It sounds and feels good, but it leads to more confusion.
The absolute statement is where I was going with it is the self is a collection. The self is a collection of the memories that the individual has gathered. The self is nothing without the collective. The collective creates.
It's logical to me.
It's all the same. We are one. And so, yes, punishing another is a harm to ourselves. Depriving another is a harm to ourselves.
You're connected to that Asian dude who you never met and never will meet. You guys are still connected.
He didn't say injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. What's done to the least of us is done to all of us. He said when someone kills someone or kills themselves, it's everyone's fault. And I don't accept that premise.
The responsibility is the action is the result of the past. Everything has cause and effect, right? And so this is part of the problem of this society. Everyone wants to blame the one, fucking punish the one, when the fact is most of those ones who are being convicted and punished have been enabled or encouraged or covered up by others.
Right, but you're failing to see the original concept of what this was supposed to be, which is a remedial system. So you're going to what it is now, not what it was supposed to be, which is that if someone does cause harm to themselves or others, they're deemed to be a danger to themselves and society, and they're supposed to be taken in and remedied and put out as fast as possible, not punished. So while you're arguing from a corrupt system,
hold on. What do you mean remedied?
What do I mean? What do I mean remedied? The same thing that went on. What do I mean remedied? The same thing that went on in my life. I don't accept that I didn't have a right to put dope in my veins. The point is I overdosed twice, came back into the same dope I overdosed on, so I could have been dead and up out of here and not in your faces annoying you.
So we should have forced you not to get high? Is that the remedy?
Say again.
We force you not to get high. That is the remedy. When people act up, we remedy them.
Certain individuals ascertained that I was a danger to myself and others for various reasons, so they contained me and allowed me a time away from all the distractions to look at myself and my behavior and form new habits while within the confines of a facility.
So that we kidnap niggas?
I didn't say that. It's not an if-then statement. There's supposed to be a societal mechanism where everyone's on board. They say, hey, Paulie boy, we love you, but you're a danger to yourself and others, like an intervention. And we say, how are we communally going to look after you and provide for you? See, you have the wrong idea because you see bars and the rest of it. I didn't say we had to do what they do. I'm saying you bring somebody to a yurt, if you will, and you let them stay there and you work with them and you provide for them through a group taxation process. And if that's your game, if that's how you want to structure it, doesn't have to be behind bars, but the being has to first realize for themselves and others, hey, I'm a danger to myself and others, which is the hardest part. So when someone So when someone shows a pattern of that behavior without self-realization that they're a danger, then some would say someone would have to come in and remove them for there and
You're
everyone else
saying
no
that.
good.
To be clear, I'm asking, are you saying that when he's a danger to himself, we go in and remove him from that until he's better? Are you saying that?
Well, I wouldn't know because I don't pretend like everyone here to be somebody who's going to ever be part of the system or change the system. I can only speak on what I've observed in my own life. So in my own life, right, being accountable and responsible for self and able to
Right, the
influence
community
others.
put you away because someone determined you to be a danger to
No,
yourself.
you didn't listen because
or a
this,
threat
the
to-
first time that's
I
what
didn't
happened.
listen?
Yeah, you
Okay.
didn't ask the right questions, I guess, because the
Okay.
first time that happened because I didn't know who and what I was. The second time, see, I showed a pattern, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth of drug abuse to myself, almost killing myself over and over again, lying, cheating, and stealing, being a problem for others, blaming others for all of my shitty behaviors and actions and lifestyle.
Mhm.
Right. So the second time they said, "Hey, Paulie boy, you seem like you're really smart, know a lot about the law, and won't take an attorney, but we don't think you can get through the whole trial without fucking yourself." I said, "You're probably right." So they said, "We're gonna give you an opportunity to do 28 days at a rehab facility." And because I went there and focused on myself, right, it wasn't about the program per se. I did the work internally. I worked with other people who presented themselves there, the important people, not the rest of the faculty, right? And there was some level of growth and learning and change that was facilitated there. So I'm thankful and grateful that the community and the system got together and used some of that money they were going to use to go bomb a village to allow Paulie boy to look at himself away from all the sick attachments and distractions and really get back to himself and maybe come out with some chance of becoming a leader in the community and successful and making a change. And I think that happened.
If I can bring it back, I'm sorry, Paul. Thank you for sharing these things, but I want to bring it back to kind of the question that first started this. So, Paul, in that time where you were dealing with all this shit, trying to figure out what was right, wouldn't it have been nice had there been like the community that was there to support? Because the original statement made was that when someone offs himself or another, there is a responsibility to those around, even those not involved. So, well, back
Yes,
to
for their
what Paul was saying.
for their friends, family, and extended community, essentially, yes. But we're not all responsible and accountable for folks harming others and themselves because their self, their parents, their friends, their community have been, I guess, unavailable on many fronts to themselves as well.
I've heard that said by others, but at what point? At what point is it not our responsibility? I mean, I just think.
Well, it depends. Okay, Jack, I'll meet you there. No, I'll meet you there. It depends on how we define responsibility, because you know what I do with the words, right? I get right down to it. Responsibility. So I guess you're right, because I'm here talking right now about this and we're spreading awareness and I'm doing it out of care and it might help someone. So there's my responsibility, right?
That's
I've
why I
given
see
you,
it,
this
yeah.
is my version of my ability to respond to the problems the world
I think it
presents.
is.
But we also have to admit that we live in a society that puts forth a whole bunch of programs, a whole bunch of social programs to quote unquote fix the social problems. And a lot of people within the community are okay with just handing that over instead of like what Jack's
Doing
talking
it
about, which is
ourselves.
actually having an active part within your own community.
I
But
agree.
this is
Yeah.
why we have to whittle down the words and terms and be serious how we use them, because I don't live in anything except the universe. I don't live in a society, especially the legal society, because that's the one you're talking about. So a legal society is not a community, and that's why when you go to your community, you don't see communing, because you got a bunch of individuals who think they live in a society.
No, what I'm talking about is all the people who pass off their own, let's use for lack of a better term, a social responsibility.
Duty and responsibility, yes.
Duty and responsibility to other programs put in place by a third party They're okay with passing off this to a third party instead of engaging with the
Yes.
people in their community.
Fuck yeah.
I
Right.
agree with you.
I
And,
totally agree.
and the way of thinking that gets us there is exactly what I thought the man was saying. Maybe I was mistaken, but that we all have some responsibility and accountability to each other, like objectively in all ways. So therefore,
Yeah.
we have to pay into a system that solves our problems.
I think so. I
I
think that is the
Like
actually,
if
I
you
got a
actually,
perfect
Hold
example.
on.
I got a perfect example of this.
Hold on.
Hold on. Hey, yo,
Just-
Jack. Provo Kid wanted to say he respectfully bowed out. There's too many chefs in the kitchen. He sees Paul's cooking, Joe's cooking, you're cooking. So he said, you know what, he's
you
out.
know that how the rest of that phrase goes. Too many chefs spoil the broth. Go ahead, Jack Talcott, please.
God damn it. Well, the thought I had
Can I
is
just give this little story? It's just a
Please.
little story about
Quick
social,
story,
about social
Jack.
things. I have a Down syndrome son. He's very, very friendly. One thing we noticed about him when in crowds is he seemed to be drawn to the person who needed the hug. Like,
Very good.
he's going to be 18 years old this year. We've seen it year after year. And what that did was not make me feel like I need to tell you guys anything. The initial reaction to seeing that with my own eyes was, damn, I'm doing it wrong. Because this child can see something that with my judgments, like you're talking, with my own judgments as a person, wouldn't allow my own self to see. He was able to see it clearly.
Hey,
So this, go ahead.
one of the things I don't remember, I had something relevant to what we were talking about, but with the forgiveness, the greatest gift, the greatest key, the path to forgiveness, it's gratitude. And so wisdom is the ability to ignore, right?
All the
Learning-
movement is horrible. It's just horrible for the viewer and the audience and the panel members. All the flashing
Well,
and movement.
but Paul, the idea was Moose saw me starting to get into a flow and wanted some attention for what I was offering.
Right. So we can't all be part of the experience because we have to zoom in on Talcott. Right. That's
Well,
great for a panel.
I sit
For the viewer.
patiently as I host the space for people to speak, but I actually do know that I have a shit ton of knowledge and tips and experience that are probably helpful should anyone want to hear.
He wasn't
Um,
saying your knowledge was bad. He was saying the graphic of throwing you up there distracted.
I know,
more.
Joe.
I'm not
I
agreeing,
know.
or I'm just saying. I think
know.
you're right. All right.
I get what's going on. It's
Like first he pipes the music up, distracts the shit out of us.
Exactly.
Then he
Right,
throws the
right,
fucking
right,
clip up of the
right,
image,
right.
distracts the shit out of us.
Well,
then he
hey,
fucking
you know
zooms
what?
in, and it's just like a
Hey,
kid
Paul,
playing
I love
toy
how,
back there.
I'm
Like
kicking
I'm
ass
actually
over here.
listening
You're
to
just
you,
mad.
and I'm taking in what everyone's
It's
saying
because
and
your
being present and aware,
your
and he's
ADHD is
destroying all
killing
that.
you. Your
Hey.
ADHD is killing you. You can't
My
pay
ADHD
attention.
is killing me. It's not your inability to sit
Right.
the fuck back, listen, and
Paul,
stop playing with all the new toys.
Paul, please
Projection.
relax. Paul, actually, I'm going to totally change the subject. I'm going to throw a wrench in here for the conversation because
Horrible producer.
I love
Shame.
you, Paul.
Has
This
no
is a
talent, no eye
Paul,
for talent,
this
no
is
eye
what
for
I'm
reading the room.
trying to discuss with you as a solution.
Sorry,
Damn
Jack.
it.
It was going so damn good over here, and then this.
If I was insensitive, I would ask that lady if you're her son.
Hey, here's
Right, I was
what I'm-
already going to go into that because I knew someone would eventually pipe up and make the joke that I'm a Down syndrome gorilla. So listen,
No,
you like it, I love
stop.
it. I was about to say that since they called me that, I'll own it.
Jesus.
I have that space in me. Ask the people in my life where I don't get in my own way. So I energetically read the signature and I know who needs the love and care and I know who needs the moment of inspiration, right? So that's the
Paul.
difference. I know who needs the critique as well.
What I want to know is this an
Get out of our
act, or do you have no control over whether or not the things that people say make you this upset? Or you just like, what's going on?
So you think what's going on, bud? So you think this is me upset, huh? You must
Well, just you seem to have a lot of feelings about what's
Very
happening.
loud and
Dan,
obtrusive. You don't get out
please,
much, huh?
can
If you
I?
think
You seem to have a lot of feelings about what's happening.
I have a lot of feelings. Well, another mistake. I'm like this on the inside, right? I'm just getting
Paul,
right down to the facts. No
well,
feelings necessary. I speak right.
Paul,
I'm smoking, bro. I'm smoking.
Paul, your peace would be more apparent without your constant words flowing.
Oh, I don't need my piece to be apparent. My piece is powerful for me when I need
I'm
it to be.
asking
also
you
powerful
to
for
show
others when I need
peace
it.
rather than try and present the fucking
Oh.
argument. Damn it, Paul. I was trying to bring some fucking fun into this, and all you want to do is
right
argue
there.
and
Oh,
bitch.
sorry.
Can you
Sound
chill
that-
out for a
right
minute?
there.
Fuck
We
you.
were right there, man. We were right
Excuse
there.
my language. You know what? I'm
Life
trying
is
to
good.
improve. Well,
I
stop.
feel
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. Yes.
Good
Not right now.
things
Things
Okay,
are
not right now.
happening.
No, not right now.
Good
Because
call.
me and Jack were right there. We were
Paul.
merging. We were
Paul.
doing it.
Fuck!
Damn it, man.
Fuck! Please stop!
I love you,
Jack,
Paul,
Jack.
you're right. You're
Can
right.
we just, you know what? Can we just get
Paul,
back to me and
yes,
you,
you
Jack?
are.
Get everyone
Paul.
out of here. It's me and you.
Paul,
Can I say?
I'm going to email you tonight because I know if I email you back and start really talking to you that we're going to get somewhere. So I'm sick of this fucking dynamic. I'm going to email you and love on you. And then we're going to get everyone out of the way. Okay? All the impediments.
Paul,
Yeah.
I love you, man.
I love you, man. See how
Hey.
did you see how that feels right there? Do you see how that feels? Feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel good, man. It feels good to just chill out and accept. Hey, what you were saying, here, well, I'm not going to add anyone else back yet, but Moose, I told
I'll fucking
Moose
go right
earlier-
off on him, Jack. You know how I am. I'm very
I
loving
know.
with you right now, but these
I
fucking
know.
slaves.
Paul, Moose and I are excited. Okay, we're excited for what we're doing and the ideas and the thoughts that maybe what can we do. And one of the ideas I had was I would love to see, Paul, you and Scott join our efforts with your connections, talents, fucking knowledge. If we this was here. This was the team I discussed earlier today.
That's a dream
Oh.
team right there. I mean, if
Well-
Moose can stay away from all the buttons.
Moose can learn. He is learning.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, Moose is learning, and he's already bringing a lot of knowledge and ideas that I didn't
I'm
have.
not seeing it, but all right, I'll take
Well, there's room for improvement, brother, and I think with your influence and attention, holy shit. You know, I got hopes in your abilities and his. And then with Scott's been throwing you some like ideas, man, and in my opinion, like some invitations. I don't think I misread it, Scott, but
I don't have any invitations. I just have moving forward. If we end up converging, it's just how it happens. I mean, if you know, there's no definites in life until you make something definite. You know, I mean, you got to show up. So 99% of the job is showing up. There's a percent of worrying about what the fuck happens then. You
I
got to
fucking do my job. I show up
Here.
7 days a week, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20 hours a day for months.
I know.
Doing
Paul,
my
but here's
share here.
Paulie,
Paul,
I'm gonna be real. Hold on, Jack. I'm gonna be
I'm
real.
gonna bring everyone back.
99% you say sometimes, but in reality, it's 90% is showing up. Sometimes 10% shutting the fuck up.
That's fucked
And
up,
it just-
Jack. Is that how that feels every time, Paul, when he puts you in the back? Is that how?
It feels just like that, right? It's the same.
There's no reason to come up and worry about it. I mean, everybody's cool. It's just that there's a dynamic that it's an ebb and flow of things that could be. I'm not gonna lie, Jack. I mean, there's no reason to try and fucking shoot high and shoot over the storm clouds to get to fucking UN. More
Well,
like
then forget about that. Let's get back to what you don't like, and let's focus on what we do. And what we can agree with is growing and doing something here.
I
right?
think he was about to follow that with advice. I hope it just wasn't about to criticize your shit. I hope he was about to come up with something, alternative.
Scott needs,
Didn't
Hey,
mean to interrupt.
Scott needs to coach us both because he just told me sometimes I got to shut the fuck up, and I was under the impression every time I shut up, that's where all the entertainment, inspiration, and information goes almost right out the window. So that might be my big ego, and I need someone there.
10%, 10%, 10%.
You
Dude,
take the
talk
air out of the
90%
room, man.
time. No, you take the air out of the room.
So,
To be honest, Moose, that's
Oh,
fucking.
There you go.
stop.
There it is.
Well,
I love you.
there's a
You're a
Scott.
bias.
producer. You
So,
should stay
so
fucking as a
Scott,
producer. You're one or the other. I mean, you flying the plane or you fucking serving drinks.
I
Scott,
See,
know.
though truth
Or
may
you
not
blowing
exist,
the
both of those
pilot.
people,
What's up?
both of those people are correct.
Yeah.
Both of the people
hey,
that said that was correct.
Who
we're
is this
doing it all.
person? Who is this creature?
I
How
don't
did
know.
he get here? Why do we
Check,
have
man.
him?
He's a friend of
Anyone know?
mine. I invited that dude. Yeah.
See,
There's
everyone.
nothing wrong with people having their opinions. Moose, the thing that I would say about this is if you have a dynamic with Paul that's shared with Jack, but Jack's running the show, leave Jack and Paul to work their shit out. If you're stepping in and think you can overtalk Paul, he's gonna fucking run you down. He's
I
done it.
haven't
Oh,
seen him
I've
doing
done it
that.
a few times, and when I
Have
do it,
you?
I usually say enough to like make myself look really stupid, and he lets me keep going for a little while. And about 45 minutes later, I kind of wake up from my
And
like
say
rage,
something brilliant.
and then I'm like, wow, I really fucking did that, didn't I? So
You're
yeah.
even
So
doing it
anyway,
right now. He's giving us an example of it kind of right now, and that's why
Just
I
be
like
careful.
it.
You shouldn't take an undue advantage by cutting them
Guys,
the fuck off. You know what?
well,
If
hey,
he's being
I
rude,
understand.
Scott, here, I'm gonna stand up for Moose in this particular moment
he's the man.
because
He just did it.
hold
He's
on.
doing it.
Hey, Scott,
Go
he's
ahead.
standing up for me because he recognizes the value I'm offering. You're convinced on the value Paul's got, and I don't dismiss that.
Little
There's
bit.
a
But please
dynamic between
don't
the two
play.
of you that's good.
What's that?
I said there's a dynamic between the two of you that's good. I'm not. It's
I
Scott,
know, it's
Scott,
beautiful.
you haven't even seen the good shit yet. You didn't
I
see
know.
6-7 months ago. That was my golden moment on the
Wait,
metaverse.
Jack
This
was
is
just
my
getting crushed
best.
6-7
Moose,
months
that was your
ago. He
golden
was the
shower.
worthless puppet.
Jack,
So,
there you go.
hey, I got to
You
get
got a
back on
golden
topic
shower?
for just one moment. One moment. I got to say, Chuck in Tennessee. I know I've called you Cuck in Tennessee. I've called you so many names. I've
And that's
yelled at
true.
you. I've blocked you from the channel. I've done a lot of things. I just
Cuck in
want to say,
Tennessee.
after
All deserved.
tonight, yeah, Cuck in Tennessee, at the end of this night, we'll unban you. You can come back tomorrow. We can work on this again. I forgive you. It's Forgiveness Friday. I
Wow.
forgive you, Chuck.
Wait, you
Thank you.
called him all sorts of shit, put him in the basement and then say, but I forgive you? That don't
Yeah,
sound right,
because
bro.
this is Forgiveness Friday, and we're forgiving all the slaves from
What
their
the
constant
fuck?
slavery that is impinging upon the rest of our lives. So they don't know enough to know that they're horrible people, but we're going to point that out and then forgive them. So this I can get on
Well,
board. Thank you, Moose and
So,
Jack.
so
for
you consider people that are in an internment camp a slave?
pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Are they not?
Sounds like you're a
Yeah, that was
captive to
easy.
me.
I mean,
Wait,
listen,
that
I'm
was
doing
pretty
a full
simple.
Kanye, right? If your people were enslaved for 200 years and you never fought back, you're thinking act like a slave. I mean, who are you going to blame? You could have
They
tried to hop
liked
the
it.
electrical
They
fence.
liked it actually,
You got
right?
to take a risk in life. You got to take a chance, okay? If I'm taking the plates off, I'm going to try to get my gorilla ass over the electrical wire. I might not make it, in which case it's a quick out for me.
Oh man.
Polly's
If
fucking
you
speaking truth. He's speaking real truth there. He
If you
doesn't.
forgive my gold chains, I'll forgive your iron chains.
Oh wait. Your
What?
question didn't make a lot of sense. You were never mind. I don't want to chase that rabbit. I thought you were
He's
saying an
he asked
internment
if
camp was
yeah.
different than slavery. But
One
here's the
step closer
reality.
to the box cars.
Well, let me toss this idea that there is slavery, there is currently human trafficking, child trafficking, sex slavery, there's migrant, worker
I got to
extortion.
stop you right
And
here. I got to stop you right here because it just hit me. Moose, get on this. This is the gold segment. Jack's word salad toss. And this is where, as you said, right? Am I right? You see the look in his eye? That's when I know I got gold. Where is he? He's over there. So he's there. You know, when I got the gold and I throw it at him and he lights up like that, he knows. So we put the graphic up, Jack's word salad toss, and then you do your segment. What was the triggering? He said he's going to toss some ideas, right? So of course, grotesque mind. You're tossing ideas, salad, toss salad. Jack's word salad.
Well, your mind is just fucking amazing. It's fascinating.
So
there's people out there that love it.
You see the graphic, and then it's, I'm just going to toss some ideas out there. Jack's word salad toss.
I love it. See, Paul, this is what I need. This is what
I'm here for you. I've been here. If you let me do what I do without the metaverse.
No fucking way. No way.
Top training with me.
Are we really doing a word toss salad tomorrow?
Exactly.
Exactly. Hey, we'll explore the idea, but where I was going with was the idea of slavery. The worst part of slavery is that the physical part is existing. The even sadder part of that is even when we're not physically enslaved, we create mental prisons, right? And based on what we committed ourselves to in the past, based on what we believe of ourselves, what we expect of ourselves, the expectations,
How Jack feels about black people and women, which we're not going to get into. It was a crazy night that one night. We're just going to let that go.
No, dude. See, that's the crazy thing. I remember thinking so many stupid things, and man, I used to think there was a difference. And today, now I know everyone is confused. The
I'm hypersensitive to that shit. Just being a black motherfucker, you become hypersensitive to what you think racism is. I've never seen a drop of that in you, and I'd look every fucking where under the motherfucker's doormat. I haven't seen a drop.
The Jack tosses word salad.
Joe, like many African Americans, is even known for finding racism where it's not existing.
It's probably
He doesn't look hard for it and even find it where it's not there. He doesn't detect any of that.
I know. I'm trying to top of the countertops.
No, dude. My eyes really started opening in 2018 when guys, the key to our change is just stay open-minded. Try to learn, take a local if there's a local course, local discussion going on at a community center, at a library, go find something out. Look something new up on YouTube. Use the technology. The point I was getting
You scared me, Jack. I'm saying
every single time, man. They're gonna ruin this one, Jack.
I got a big screen in front of me. He just jumped out at me.
All right, you know what? That's it. Oh no, see this one. I don't like that one.
I didn't mind going Polly on Jack. Polly on Jack is good. Threefold, fourfold. If Polly and Jack are getting into something different, you want to drop people off. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Everybody shouldn't feel fucking, left behind or anything. If you got something to say, get out a pen, get out a piece of paper, write that shit down. Not only what you got to say, but what triggered it. And be part of the fucking broadcast. If you're an expert on an expert panel, be an expert on the expert fucking panel.
What triggered it? I like that. Yeah, I didn't think about that part of it.
Well, you ain't going to be able to bring fucking Jack back around if he's fucking happy-go-lucky in another thought unless you tell him what the fuck brought you there. And Paulie, your audience too would be good to do that. If they care about you, they will. You can weed them out just by that simple fact alone.
His audience doesn't care about him. If they cared about him, they'd stand up for rights and freedom.
Damn,
he's got more people watching you right now on his audience than you by 3.
Ask him. He'll say it. They don't give a shit about him.
That's the next level.
They don't care about you.
There's very little care.
Ultimately, as far as
right? I mean, listen.
I care about Paul.
There's moments that shine through with certain people at certain times. As Moose and Talcott will know, usually the donation box. And then once in a while, I'll see someone get gunned down, taking their plates off, and I say that's someone who cared, as Moose says. But other than that, when I'm sitting in that box, there's no calls coming. No one's coming to the visitation. No one even cares, like, pretty much where I went. They just pretty much assume I'm dead or in jail. They're probably right. So, but that's okay. Okay. And I'm going to show you why that's okay. As long as these people care for themselves, okay, what's true and what's right to them in their life, and they do the next right thing, it's not about me. Okay. And of course, I'm being a bit flippant. I think a lot of the folks do care about me. But again, the way that we show care in this society, we're back to that term, it's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Have you not noticed the folks who come up and tell me they're my fans and then take bizarre pictures of me and insult me and go, we love you? What's the problem?
children. They're children. They don't know how to ask for the thing that they want. They don't know how to react when you give it to them the way they didn't expect. They're children.
It's well said. This isn't, hey guys, in the bigger picture, I mean, there's plenty of evidence, and we've talked about this before, but in the back of my mind is this is the time of the divide. People are what's the thing separating the wheat from the tare, the
chaff and all that.
But
It's true. We're separating the wheat from the chaff. But Jeff hates pigs down there. He says Moose is forgiven for his minor mistakes he makes as a producer. So I would also
not forgiven is the major mistakes he's made as a man, a father, a husband. I could go on, but it's probably not the place.
No, this ain't the place. So I would like to extend a little bit of forgiveness for you, Jeff, because you forget that I mess up every single broadcast. It's not just one broadcast. It's not just this broadcast, that broadcast. I mess up every single one. So I'm pretty consistent. I'm one of the only people that I know that is consistently a failure, but still
Let me
wins.
say something true about that. You're gonna make mistakes trying to learn this. You're brand new at being a producer of a show. You're gonna try things. Some things will work. Some things won't. You'll have Paul. Niggas like Paul shout out when the things don't work very loudly. But I attribute it to you still learning the ropes, man. I'll shut the fuck up.
You're a very loving man, but you're missing the point here. I made Moose my producer because much like Howard Stern had a Baba Booey, I needed a Moose. I realized early on he was extremely incompetent, and that's why I made him a producer. Because I knew he would fuck everything up, in which case it would give me more material to actually truthfully focus on his incompetence. And it worked out well. He just didn't know the place. He just didn't know what he was being
diabolical fucking play. What
It's
a diabolical
extremely
play.
incompetent.
I even told him that. That's not diabolical. I privately messaged him and said, you're incompetent.
wow.
I see you as my Baba Booey, and I'm going to play off that. He said, great, until he got upset one day when I kept calling him out.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's not
You know what?
diabolical. That's being real, motherfucker.
No, if you were
Most
straightforward
people
on
would
it,
know
man,
in LA.
I applaud you on that move. That's brilliant.
the thing is everything leads to something else. The past brought us to today, and I'm grateful. Seriously, I'm grateful that Moose got the idea or was trying the idea of producer with you, and then I'm grateful he decided to share some time and attention with me. And now, Paul, others, those who want to help, those who want to join and contribute talent, energy, time, connections to this.
Humor. These cats are hilarious.
Hey,
I got tears in my eyes.
You know what? This is fun, and honestly, I swear to God, my words can often be taken wrong, especially given the contradiction of my situation compared to what I say. But
yeah,
it feels so.
I've been giving you twice. I've been up here, right? I remember I was up here a couple weeks ago.
I do, yeah.
And I've been asking for the opportunity to have a problem with what you said, but that's the most I've been seen you talk since I've known you, because everybody always cuts you off.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
this guy's
observing
horrible.
that.
Don't listen to any advice he gives you.
No, it's true, man. It's been an interesting experience, and you guys are a part of it, but from my perspective, I sit and listen to people talking about me, but God is with all of this. My faith My faith and my search for truth is what keyed me in on Paul Unslaved and what he was doing. Seeing his courage and standing up in those interactions with authority, kind of helped me quite a bit. And
what is that about when cats like Paul do that shit? To me, it's like the super courageous, founding forefathers type bullshit, right? What is it that make other people see it as he is irresponsible and the worst fuck in the world? What is that? How are we so far apart on that?
He's anarchist. He's an anarchist, and that's what the forefathers were. It's anarchy.
Hey.
He stands for anarchy, and not for nothing. You got to be real careful because these policy enforcers know it's anarchy, and they can call it what it is. Okay.
Amen. But hey, Scott, you're absolutely right. And the best example of an anarchist was the story of Christ, Jesus.
There
He
you go.
was the anarchist standing against the state, the government, the oppression.
There you go. Put me in, coach. I'm fresh. That's what Paulie says. If they come up against him with bullshit, he goes, "You're just following somebody else's bullshit they told you. Have you searched out anything you're saying, doing, or thinking about doing to me?" And every one of them hasn't, and they can't help but hate him for bringing that to their face and attention.
So what about these cats on the internet? It's probably the same type of thing. They hate him for bringing these things to their attention.
They
right?
want to jump on them because they don't know what to do. When you're faced with the truth, it's very hard to respond quickly. So a lot of people, instead of going to, hey, hold on, let me learn, let me think about this, let me open a book, they go to an ad hominem attack. Paul, he's a fucking gorilla. He's a moron. You think I'm a slave? You're a fucking psychopath. They go right the wrong way rather than trying to listen, learn, pay attention, and grow spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. They want to step on their own fucking chance.
Yeah, but Paulie made me cry. I did cry.
You should cry. You should cry. That shows your feminine side, and you should have one. If you don't have one, you're not whole.
Everybody
he
knows
taught me-
inherently what we need to do, and the majority of folks know they're not doing it. So when they see me and feel me, I'm a representation of everything they've done and not done, and they have to rebuke that. The only other option is to accept the wrongs they've done and not done and change them. And we know folks don't
That's
like
difficult.
accountability and responsibility. There's growth and learning and work, and you might have to put your ass on the line. So get him out of here.
There's more than that.
It reminds
There's more
them
than
of their
growth,
own
learning, and work.
inadequacy.
There's some
I feel
pain
you.
that you got to go through. Some pain.
And there's
It's
other
like,
folks who go, we rejoice, like the Tao says. I go before Christ. The Tao causes those who think they know to question. We know what happens when these folks get questioned. They buck up and get uppity, right? And then there's those who see the Tao and rejoice because they know. Well, we have that dynamic. Folks see me rejoice, the white gorilla. And then there's those who are forced to question and they get upset, right? We don't want to question our life and our lifestyle and our world that we've created.
Yes, and they haven't examined it. I got you.
There's a reason I went crawling over to your channel and begging you to come over here. There's a reason. Because we know you got value. We know you got the fucking.
No.
No.
Tonight he extended the invitation, obviously, because we're grateful and we know the value you bring, brother.
Dude, he came over here 5 minutes before that and said, Paul's over there shitting on all of us and trying to. Come on.
I did, because you were.
You can't even help
You
but
were
pillow
shitting
talk
on
right
us.
now.
Both things can be true. Both things are true.
Both things are true. They're both facts.
It's all right.
Bro, why
let's
is
shit on
the point
Paulie
is-
for a
the
minute.
point is, it's affecting you, right? Because you came
Paulie,
over
let's-
here, ran over to Jack and said, Daddy's talking bad about us. And all I did was reiterate what the fuck I've been saying for 6 months. So why is it still affecting you is the question. I've not
It's
changed
not.
anything that
I
I've
was
done or said.
I was just entertaining the crowd and bringing you over. I was just trying to do what I do.
You didn't know that was a bit, right? That was a bit.
it's
You coming
Well,
over.
I'm kind of doubling down on the whole crowd hating me. Like everybody thinks
Everything
I'm
you get
buying
fought for
subscribers
becomes
now.
a bit, right? This is where he thinks he's like such a great reverse psychologist because he gets caught
What,
for everything.
what did I get
and then he
caught
goes,
for? I
That's
said
a
it
bit.
live on
I was
air.
doing a bit, right? Then I go, Moose, it's a bit with your wife. He goes, no, she really hates you. She's constantly on my ass about it. So it's a bit, not bit. I go, when does the bit end and it become reality in your twisted mind? Where's the infatuation there?
I got all that taken care of, Paul. I've taken care of that.
You got her on Thorazine or something? Hey, I hit up one of my friends. He writes prescriptions. That's over with. Let's move on.
Hey,
He only did that once, Paulie.
I want to interrupt this conversation. Welcome back, Jesse. How'd the interview go?
It was amazing. It was more of a concert. So we talked to him a little bit. He played a whole bunch of music and songs, and we just had so many people. It was just vibrant, and a lot of people lifted a lot of people up. So we did.
Who is he, Jesse?
His name is Anthony Rogers. He's a friend of mine for about 7 or 8 years from Australia. Musician. He's about 62 years old, and it was just so amazing to be able to share him with the world.
Very good.
Very cool. Well, welcome back, brother. We're still continuing the Friday night chats.
Yeah, and since we're forgiving people here today, Paul, will you extend that forgiveness to my wife for her dislike of you because she disliked the truth, she disliked the spirit and the way. I do think that since it's Friday's forgiveness, I think she does deserve one.
You're way off the mark, and I think you know it. This is another bit. Like, there's no forgiveness that's necessary. I don't take any of this personally. Bro, I can't pimp if I'm going to take personally what the broken hose got to say, think, and feel about me. I couldn't do what I do. So I don't take that shit personal. It goes right off me. I just talk about it, and I'm passionate about truth. So they think I'm triggered and upset about the situation. No, I'm passionate about the truth within the nonsense situation. This is just another nonsense situation. I deal with thousands of them.
Makes me laugh.
Hey, the key to
Holy
forgiveness, the key to forgiveness truly is gratitude. And
I'm glad you keep coming back to that.
I think the Greeks had a really good method for forgiveness. It was called orgies. They just went and fucked each other, and then after they were done, it was,
So Moose, now again, I just said, "Are you gay?" And you said, and then we just went right past that, and you said we should do forgiveness orgies.
All dudes,
9 guys.
Well,
What,
see,
9
the
guys
thing
with
is,
your wife? Like,
you
is this
guys, you guys told me, you told me that the producer just sits back, presses buttons, right? So I don't actually have to get it on action.
It's still
I
gay
did
if
a
you
while
watch,
back call
Moose.
you.
It's still
I'm not watching. I'm not watching.
I'm only watching.
you
I'm not
guys-
taking part.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
not
call you
taking
Moose the Cuck, so I guess it's going to be 9 guys and your wife. Because obviously
No.
she'd have to be there. You're you're committed to each other. So yes, start the orgy immediately. Joe Cool might call some of his African American friends as well. They like white women.
That's what white girls like.
And she runs a hotel, right, Joe Cool? So there's a lot of fringe benefits. I know a lot of African American friends of mine would love to get a white woman who's got an extra 10, 15, 20 rooms at any given time that they can, do various activities. And I won't get into it. Board games and such.
I just want to let you guys know we don't rent by the hour. All right?
Oh, Joe Cool's light skin. That's right. He's in a committed relationship.
You got to have three night stay minimum. You can't no hour long. There ain't none of that shit going on over here.
Hey, Moose, if I get my shit running Monday, maybe me and my girl could come down there and stay for a few days.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh
Fuck
man,
yeah.
You don't bring Joe Cool down there. You remember what happened with us? That ain't gonna go well.
I'm not afraid of Joe Cool, and I'm not afraid of
Not
O'Shea.
You keep him far away from that woman of yours because you see how Joe Cool moves. He's got that white woman on his screensaver there, but he's up to other activities, right? We can't.
I
talk
understand.
About it. She might
And
be
Joe
watching.
Cool, I say this with the most respect, man, but I got the speed and the strength still. I got that young, viral, testosterone-driven body. And no
don't
offense,
tempt me,
man, but you're.
motherfucker. Don't tempt me.
You have the body of a Filipino girl. You have the body of a
Turning it
Filipino
on.
girl. You have an estrogenated body. Okay? Cut it out.
Oh, fuck the genetics.
Moose
Today
does
I'm gonna
hairless
forgive
boy
God
porn.
for giving me too much feminine qualities.
He's got me
He
over here
wants to be an
chubbing up.
orgy with 9 guys. What's wrong with you? This is his
God.
producer. Talcott turned his camera off now. He doesn't know how to get out of it.
He's so ashamed of me. He's probably gonna fire me after this. The next thing he's gonna say is Moose, we need to have a talk.
You got a list that said page 1.
Hey, but it is Forgiveness Friday, so maybe he'll find it in his heart to forgive me.
It may be a wait till tomorrow and give you shit.
I just figured out what Moose is right. He is a master troll. He gave Jack Talcott the idea of Forgiveness Friday just so he could fuck everything up.
Brilliant,
and then
right?
have to hold him
Brilliant.
to forgiveness.
Brilliant.
He is a genius.
3D chess again.
He did QAnus. I
That's
gotta
brilliant.
hand it to you. He used to be pretty good at that stuff. When I taught him how to set traps and do future proofs past, how to like subtly manipulate without manipulating, he just did it. He said, let's do Forgiveness Friday. Now Jack has to forgive. So we can do whatever we want pretty much here at this point. Great job, Moose.
I think I might war bomb somebody. I never
Jack
have.
hit the bottle
Get a
again.
knife
He's
for it.
relapsing with what just went on here. Jack, are you okay? I'm worried about you.
Where are you, Jack?
He's probably taking a shit.
I was just gonna say that, dude. He's taking
either,
a loss.
He's either hitting
The
the
only
bottle
time
or
he's-
hitting his dog.
The only
Based on
time
how
Jack's
it goes.
not trying to talk, the only time Jack's not jumping at the bit to grab that microphone is when he's taking a shit or
Jumping at the
I always
no, I'm
pictured
serious.
Jack, like,
You were the
he
one
has the
talking
gift
about
of
the
gab.
orgy. He's rubbing one off right now.
Right? He talking about all that shit they got on it.
Hey Scott,
Yeah,
if
you
you
got
didn't
him
open your
horned
mouth,
up.
I wouldn't have had to look at your square. Now I have to start over.
Worst things have happened to better people. You'll be all right.
That's right.
Oh, here we go. So now I guess I'm in charge here. I guess Jack Talcott. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, the man
yeah,
with the
he was
plan, Mr.
definitely
Jack
just taking
Talcott.
shit. I just saw you try to sniff the tip of your fingers to see. That's why you got to do like they tell you, right? 30 seconds, like Rebecca David. You got to watch for 30 seconds, or else you get that revenue.
That wasn't
There's your clap, fucker.
Shit.
I d-
All right, the studio's full right now. I'm going to open up one spot. So come on back.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is I'm sitting here waiting to speak for so long. No one cares. And then I get up for just a moment. Where'd Jack go?
Now,
It's
Jack,
the
you gotta
timing.
remind yourself next time I set you up for something like that, you have to come back with something like, "Don't be silly. I don't wipe my own ass. I have people."
What's up?
Right?
I got to give it to you. Lou, I forgive you for coming up here and actually not ruining the broadcast with your shitty audio right out the
What
gate.
the fuck? You forget me for
But he is gonna ruin it with his shitty personality if you give him time. So go ahead.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. No, I came
No,
up here. I
You
came
can't
up
even
here to
last a minute. You get
apologize.
25 seconds.
I came up here to apologize to Jack. Jack, I know that I've been, I haven't been good to you lately, and I'm just a dumb wop. What do I know? When greatness comes before me,
He's laid it on thick, Jack.
I need to realize and understand my place. You have done so much in your life, and I realize that now, and I'm dead serious, Jack. I really am. You've been a postal.
All right, Lou. Lou, just answer this question, Lou, before you keep going on, or I'm going to kick you off the show. Will you metaversally suck Jack's dick?
No,
Metaverse
He's
suck.
doing it metaversally
Stop.
right now.
I'm gonna go to the next level.
Come
You
on, man.
actually suck Jack's
Listen.
dick, like if he meets with you at some undisclosed location.
Well, I'm just saying, you're laying it on so thick, you probably want to take him on a date,
want
Lou.
Jack to know that I respect him very deeply.
You don't
He is a-
respect
he
no
is
one,
a
you
good
son of a
man.
bitch.
Please, just
We
let
talked
him
about
talk.
this earlier.
Yeah,
Let him
Moose,
talk.
let
That's
him
kind of
do it.
rude, man. He's
Please.
actually coming from his heart, and you're interrupting
Let him talk.
He's
Jack
actually
wants
not. We
purity
talked about this
contemplating.
earlier, Jesse. He said he was going to
Stop
do
it,
this. He
Moose.
said he was going to come up and do this.
Stop it, Moose. Let him
Well,
go.
Let's You're see being where such a Lou fucking takes asshole, it. Moose. No,
All right,
I'm
I'll let you do
serious,
your
Jack.
bit. Go ahead.
Hey,
We
Lou,
discussed it,
Jack, I
though.
just want
His
you to
eyes
know
look
that
sincere.
I've been wrong, and I know you've triggered me sometimes. So sometimes I get a little bit in my feelings and I go off.
and I apologize. And Jack, I
His
believe
eyes
that
look
you
high.
are a true man who believes in what he wants to do, who loves people, who loves God, who really wants to save this world. And I believe that one day you're going to do it. And I would love if I could only be part of it. And all I would like to say to you, Jack, if there's anything I can do for you anytime, I'm here. And I apologize for any shit I've given you in the past. I really do. You got my number. If there's anything I can do, give me a call. And if Moose gives you any trouble, I have a certain particular set of skills. I will find him, and I will go hiking with his wife. And
All right,
no,
so
aside
Hey,
from all
Lou,
that,
Thanks for
Lou, I
those
think
words,
that was
Lou.
heartfelt. I think you oh
thank
shit,
you,
did he
Lou.
leave?
I
I was
no, I kicked
wondering
him
if
out. I appreciate you, Lou.
I was
I
wondering, was he
appreciate you.
saying that he's
Here,
done giving you a hard time? I was wondering, was that inherent in what he was saying or not?
actually, Joe,
I was
and
saying that.
well, here's the deal. Thank you for the words. Thank you for. I mean, we shared the space and time for the words, but well, I'll be honest. I don't trust the sincerity.
It's about
I
as
don't.
fake as a $3 bill, Jack. We literally talked about this exact conversation on
I
Paul's
know.
channel.
I know, but hey,
I mean, there's
that's
only
all right.
one thing to do really at this point: make him another producer, co-producer.
Right, so
Nope.
in after whatever the fuck
No,
you said earlier.
here's
I
You know
don't
what?
blame you.
If Lou, if you want to step up to the plate, I'm willing to share
No.
responsibility with
Those are
you.
not the skills I have. I'm not a tech guy. I'm more of a hands-on type guy. You know, like
Right here,
I get the
He
job
wants to give
done
your wife a massage.
right here.
in person.
No, he wants to give one of
physically.
us a massage. He's not straight.
See, Lou still
Jack's
doesn't get what's
contemplating
going
it.
on
here.
here.
Hold
I'm trying
on.
to get as many folks indirectly attached to me as a part of Jack's behind-the-scenes show, so that I can gain more control.
Right.
He's not getting that.
Well,
Okay.
Move right past
here.
that.
Hold on. Hey Moose, let's allow Lou to be Lou. Lou has made some statements and done some things with me that have disappointed me. But
Well, you triggered me, Jack. That's bottom
well,
line.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's disappointed Jack just like he disappoints every girl he's ever been with. So, Lou, are you going to
That
come
only happened
correct and
once.
actually? Are
Hey,
you going to start
Moose,
coming correct or what, man?
I'm
we'll
doing
let.
my best, Moose. Help me
Thank
out,
you.
Moose.
All right. I tell
We'll.
you what, it is Forgiveness Friday, Jack. You are right, man. I am being too cold on Lou because I've had past interactions
Hey,
with Lou. I'm in my
same
ego,
breath.
Jack.
Just step back.
I'm
Just
sorry.
just remember
You're
from
doing
the
good,
time when I
brother.
first started
You're doing
listening to
good.
Jack and all of you guys were all ragging on Jack. Everybody was really hard on him,
That's
and
what I remember. Yeah.
so many people have kind of turned a new leaf, have either looked at things, and at any time someone can say, look, I was wrong, like there's something happening here, and I don't want to just be a dickhead causing chaos, that agent of chaos like you guys say. And it's okay if someone wants to honestly apologize and say, hey, if he turns around and next time he's a dick again, well then that he's just playing games. But if he chooses to turn a new leaf and wants to be good, then we have to be able to accept somebody that
Hey,
says, hey, I was wrong.
Jesse,
You're
one
right,
thing
Jesse.
though, Jesse, one
I was
thing.
in my ego, brother.
Even
So
if
real
he
quick,
is
Joe, I
sincere
just want to
now,
be
he
clear.
will fall again and be a dick again. Let's not assume he's going to get it right from here on out. Everything
Listen,
you
I'm
said
not
is true,
perfect. I'm
but
not
I just
perfect.
want to be clear, okay? I'm still gonna rag on Jack. I've never stopped. Okay, and as long as that's known, I've never stopped loving Jack. I've always been clear that I love Jack, but I'm going to continue to rag on him. And no, I was not wrong. So that may
In
go for
porn,
everyone
that's
else. Not
considered
me,
the
of
money
course.
shot.
yeah, I see that. I am my brother's keeper. Somebody just sent me that comment. We were talking about that earlier
Yeah, but
with
that's the thing. I'm not related to Jack
Paul.
Talcott. So there goes that.
My girlfriend actually thought that you were his son because you were saying something father, and she was like saying,
Right, your dad.
she was like, yeah, that's Jack's son, and he's in there. And she was like,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
see
no,
how quick?
I'm like, no, that's not.
No,
his
you
son.
should have
And
played that out, Jesse. You should have told us that. We'd have played that out. You don't support me, Dad.
Yes.
So, I mean, it makes sense because, like, the disappointment level is pretty much the same. So, I
That
mean,
would
I
have been
could see where
endless
she's seeing it.
entertainment, bro.
The
So,
love.
Jack, So Jack, what do you say? Are we? Can we turn over a new leaf, you and I?
I've been waiting for you to improve since the day I met you, brother.
All right.
Is that
okay?
That's a yes.
Okay.
That's a yes. And but Lou, see that this is a package deal. The package deal. Me and you have to come to some resolution too, sir.
Well, I have nothing. I have no problems with you, Moose. I love you. I always loved you, Moose. I love Jack too. I've always loved Jack too. But yeah, I got no problem. I never had a problem with you, Moose. Like, I mean, a guy like you that's honest and, you know, direct and, you know, says things the way they're supposed to be said, never tells really any, you know, shade bullshit or anything like that. How can you not respect that? I respect
Moose,
you.
does this mean that Jack has a frog in his pocket?
A what?
A frog in his pocket. I mean, you're gonna go with him wherever he goes, no matter what.
Yes, I won't. I can be a frog. I won't.
That's
be a
what
leaf.
handlers do.
It's kind of like me and
Have you ever seen a
Scott, our
handler?
relationship, it's the same deal.
Yeah, you gotta. Everybody makes their own thing and put towards it. But quite honestly, Lou, what's going on, brother?
Jack is my sacrifice to the Masonic Temple of America. It's my entry to the Brotherhood.
Now, Paulie, there you go. There you go. There's your answer.
Jack
Right.
split from this
There's
cat
the truth,
immediately, bro. He's got to sacrifice.
Jack, it's a joke. It's a Jack. It's a joke. It's a
No,
joke.
he knows
It's
the
not.
Illuminati.
He's dumb.
It's really funny.
He's
No,
gonna get
it's
the wrong
funny as
idea.
fuck. Are you sitting
I
there?
didn't think it was funny either, Jack. But you can forgive him because it's forgiveness Christ.
Hey, well, my mind got distracted because I thought I sent you a text. Maybe it wasn't today, but I was trying to remember the names involved. I'm pretty sure it was Lou and Yurt and another who were really talking shit about me on the OTW stream. That was either this morning or yesterday.
Damn, we
that was yesterday, sir. And,
Okay,
I
was
think
it
that was
yesterday?
Lou Bass.
All right. Well, and today's a new day, but I want you to recognize, Lou, many of the shit things you've done and said, there's record of. And I may not even know half the things you've said and done to me, but
I
the
know them all.
record
Do you
is.
want me to list them all? I could bring them
No.
up. Okay.
No.
Come on, Daddy, please.
No, but recognize that you've
No,
said
I know,
some pretty
Jack. Believe
fucking
me.
ignorant things.
But I'm not the
Lou.
only one, Jack. Come on.
Right.
That's no excuse, bro.
Yeah,
That's no
we're not
excuse.
the only ones. We're not
How
the only
dare
ones who obey.
There's no
How
excuse.
dare you? I said I'm going to rag on Jack Talcott and talk shit, and that's our special relationship. You're not going to do that just because you're next to me. Now I see what he's talking about trying to be my special boy, what everyone tries to do to be like daddy. You stop it.
That's not what I'm saying. I
Hey,
just want to love Jack
Lou.
and respect
Hey,
Jack
listen to
like,
Paul, Lou. Come on, listen to Paul. He already told you. Get in your place.
like the honorable man that he is. That's all.
Today's a new day. And Lou, I've seen your heart, but god dang, your mind, man. I love you.
I eat a lot of pork, you know. It's
Well,
a problem.
Hey, producer,
There's
this is where you
something.
should put Lou and him together, front and center. Everybody fucking take notes.
He drinks
That's why you
chicken
should
blood.
have had it.
But some people's internet personas is just to push buttons, just to fuck with people. They enjoy that. They get off on that, whether or not they really mean it or not. You know, they just do that because if they can push your buttons, they feel like they have kind of power, control over you. So you'll have a lot of people that's who they are on the internet. And, you know, maybe that's not truly who they are inside, but that's what they like to do because they get attention that way.
You
I
know
just
they
want to be
got
clear that's
psychologists.
exactly who I am, and I do that on and off the internet. So that is really who I am.
They got psychologists now. People who troll so much and they get addicted to it. They got psychologists now who explain to them and help them stop doing that because they get a dopamine or a serotonin rush or something out of it, and it's an addiction. And they deal with that now. That's a real thing. Fucking de-trolling.
Dude, I'm so
motherfucker.
fucking high right now. Like this week's nothing compared to coming on here and talking all this shit. You guys should try it.
Joe Cool, can you hook me up with one of those guys?
I don't know. I was just doing some research on trolls.
I believe
so,
I
hey,
may be familiar with that.
Who's
Maybe.
talking? Who's talking?
That's the cat.
I don't know,
The
10.
cat?
Yeah, the cat. Was
Well,
talking.
there is some fascinating observations and studies. I mean, breaking it down, what we are is chemical and electrical reactions. And all of our thoughts generate different electrical activity, which stimulates different organs, produces different chemicals. And people get fucking addicted. Well, we've got social engineers. We've got people getting paid today to program the fucking technology and these social medias to program us, to manipulate our minds.
Us and get the most they can out of us by getting us to do a certain thing, think a certain way.
Yes,
For me, I've always been like that. I don't know. I find it like I like to shock people, so I'll say things that I may not mean really, but I'll say it just because I like to shock people a little bit.
That's that dopamine rush. You get a rush out of that.
Yeah, and I think it stems from my childhood because I was sort of like the odd wheel out in a very large household of 13 people, and I was sort of the odd man out. Yeah. Everybody had a pair except for me, and so I used to have to do shocking things just to get that attention.
Yeah,
and so it's turned out.
That was cruel.
Stop that, Moose. He's muting and unmuting me. So I it's become part of my persona, I guess. And sometimes it doesn't come off right. Sometimes
that makes
really,
me think. That makes me think of all the other things people could have went through in their households, where they bring onto this internet. It might not have been shocking for people for attention. It may be some chick who didn't get it sexually where she was. She was never told she's cute. Now she's a skank because she gets that attention. We might be doing all sorts of shit on this internet because of our childhood.
Amen. The children today, we're seeing the results of a generation of people that really don't know who they are because they're being raised by moms and dads who don't really know who they are. That's and everyone's clinging to political beliefs, religious beliefs. Yeah, now these gender identifications and all of these things, everyone's going for external validation and identification of who they are.
I agree, right?
But we got to stop bullshitting each other and break out of our own echo chambers, because we have a tendency as humans, we want comfort. And so
we hide in those echo chambers willingly.
Amen.
You know what's the worst thing I think they're doing to kids these days is this idea that everybody gets a prize. There's no more winners or losers. You know how they play these games and at the end, everybody gets a little trophy, no winners. You know, the fucking kids are counting who won and they're keeping score and they know who won and who lost, but the parents.
What's the philosophy behind that again?
I don't fucking know, but it's
why tell everybody you're damaging.
It's to encourage the kids who put in the effort to participate and they don't rise to the level of being recognized. So there's good and bad.
Called equity. It's called equity.
Yeah, we could take that to another level too, that the competition has also separated people, put people against each other instead of unified them. So there's two sides to that, like Jack was saying.
Yeah, but the competition doesn't do that. Egos do that. There's a space of capitalistic competition where you step on someone's head to win. There's a space of healthy competition where may the best man at whatever the field is gets the quote unquote top position in everyone's eyes. So there's
because if you can't do that, maybe you can do something else. Not everybody has to win at golf. Not everybody has to win at tennis.
Right. It'd be nice if I didn't talk for 5 and 10, 15 minutes at a time. And then when I went to speak, I didn't get interrupted 10 seconds in. That'd be great. I talk fast too, so I get a lot in quick.
But you're not worth listening to, so what the fuck?
I'm just a jerk off here like 10th who just,
is that what you're doing, hiding behind this?
Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? It's like we were just talking about that whole idea of equitous position and value that should be self-evident.
That went out the fucking window.
Yeah, 10th, you chimed in perfectly before the moment was
Bring us back home, Paulie.
He wants a participation trophy, that guy. Someone get it out. Moose, do we have a participation trophy award?
Can you come back to your
He got
point,
his word in there.
Paul?
He participated.
Come on, Paulie, bring us home.
No, I want to encourage him to participate.
You fucking white gorilla.
Sorry. Let me get it under control here. I'm practicing relaxation. I'm opening and closing my rectum hole. Jack. That's something I've learned from the
Wait, cam up. I
You
want
can
to see that
extreme
cam up.
if you could show extreme control over all faculties, including
Anal
your rectum,
queef.
you've achieved self-mastery.
Yes. There's a connection
place
between
for
our
bullying.
rectum and our mouth. It's pretty fascinating.
What the hell?
Right.
What'd
The
you say?
majority
You
of
want
folks
a
are
rectum?
constantly spewing out
Between your
shit.
mouth and your rectum. What the
You want
fuck?
a rectum in your mouth? What are you talking about, Jeff?
There is a connection. It's
like
all
that
one
sort of-
fucking tube, man.
You like
There
that
was
sort of
once a
thing?
baby born. There was once a baby born with a rectum coming out her throat, and I was like, "That's a whole new meaning of talking shit."
That's so lame, Scott. That's really
It's
lame.
actually a true story.
He said you sounded like an owl.
Hey, if we want to get famous with the boomers, though, we need Scott.
I'm not a boomer, my friend. Far off.
Yeah, I
We
know.
kinda
Everybody
got-
calls me a boomer. I'm not a boomer either. I'm 60 years old. I'm right at the edge.
You're
of
older than
boomer.
me by a nickel.
Yeah,
We
that's the
kinda got-
thing is that just because these folks are all the same age, there's boomers and then there's burnouts. You got to learn to discern the difference.
I'm the burnout more than the boomer.
I'm both.
I know. That's what I was saying.
I'm
That's-
undefinable. I'm just fucking getting started.
I'm just starting a new adolescence. I don't know what's going on with
I
me
think
lately.
so too, Lou. Me as well. I've been happier these last 4 or 5 years. Probably I stopped doing heroin. Might have had something.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it, Joe. Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, lately in the last couple, I don't know, maybe year or so, maybe more. That's like a new, I don't know, like a new adolescence almost. It's weird.
Like a kid, yeah.
Well,
Your daughter moves out. Next
It's like
thing you
high
know,
school
you're a
all over
bachelor
again,
again.
right here.
Well, my daughter moves out. She's a dummy, but whatever. Let her go.
This
Oh, I thought she was already out. I thought you were
Whoa, we got to stop him right there, Jack. Did you catch that?
Nah,
This
here we
fucking
go.
disgusting piece of trash had the nerve after we did hours of therapeutic conversation and we all agreed it was best for everyone for her to get the fuck out of that
Listen,
hellhole.
Listen,
And
it
he
is-
has the balls. Don't talk over me. I'm pointing this out for the world. That's why you're triggered. Because you know
Okay.
you're a fucking manipulative piece of garbage. Because that woman needs to get out of there. It's best for everyone, but you're gonna keep fucking shitting on her way
I'm
out.
not shitting on her.
You just did. I
You
don't know what
just
happened.
said
when you
she's
shit
a
on her.
dummy.
But
She's down in my chat, you filth. You want me to get her up here? How dare you? Yeah.
I'll drop if I
She's
need
down in
to.
my chat. How dare you call her a
The only
dummy for
reason why
going
I'm
off and
saying-
pursuing her own life and successful lack of codependency with you that you've
I
shown?
have no problem with that. I just think
No, she's not a dummy. She's very smart. So
Yeah,
we're not
she is
gonna we're gonna equalize. Since you want to like half
Bro, she's
joking, half
smarter-
serious
my
say she's a
daughter's-
dummy because that's Italian love. I know that love. I'm half Italian. Well, no,
My
she's very
daughter's
smart
smarter
because she's
than
getting
all
away from the manipulative
Paulie.
codependency we all exhibit.
Yeah, I saw
no,
that
the only
aggression.
reason why I say she's a dummy is that she's not a dummy. Obviously, it's just a fucking term, bro.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead, guess.
Because you're a fucking cheap Ginzo at that, and in your mind, she's gonna have to go pay more to have less, right?
Yes.
Right. So I
Yes.
know you
So-
as good or better than you know yourself, and I
Yeah,
know
but
you're
I
fucking
don't want
ego
her to
rat.
pay more. I don't want
Well,
her to
here.
pay more.
No.
Hold on.
She'd rather pay
Let me-
more
Yeah.
and have less and have a more fulfilling and functional life than to be under your thumb like some kind of greaseball slumlord.
But she's not under
Okay?
my thumb.
So
No,
maybe
here.
that's
No.
worth paying a
I
little
got
more
you down,
money
and
for
that
her
just
freedom.
proved it. And that's why I love guessing, because I knew the next thing you thought you were going to say that was your thought, and I've heard it all before.
Hey,
Look,
let me point
Lou's
something
standard
out
is he
here,
won't
too.
shit in a bucket. That's why he had to get rid of his daughters. Sorry about that,
Hold
Jack.
on. Let me point something out here too, because Lou, this is serious. While it was just a word, you chose to defame your blood because of your opinions on money.
It has shit to do with money. That's the sideline.
No,
He's heard
no,
about
no,
it and he's
no,
heard the money.
just
That's an
don't
excuse.
want
That's
her
not
to-
sincere.
Hey,
just
before
don't
you
want her to work
disagree, I can
harder for
explain.
less. I want her to
Right.
have
Well,
more.
right. Paul pointed it out. She'd rather fucking sacrifice more money for less just to fucking get away from you because you won't change.
And my point is, Jack, he knows that he uses money and says he thinks it's all about money. He's aware that what she's reason for leaving for other reasons, clearly.
You could learn from her. Instead of calling her a dummy, you could learn from her, you cheap Ginzo, how to give up paper currency for the coin of the realm. That's what leads to peace and power and fulfillment. So
Fingers
you
up.
did it to yourself, Lou. It's because I love you that I'm going to hold you accountable, because you need peace and power and all the rest of it too. And the way you're going to get there is by changing your perspective on what matters.
Listen, for me,
sorry I had to bullhorn you on that one, but everyone's yapping.
That's right. I'm gonna say goodnight, folks. You guys have Lou. I'll let you get to family hour in a moment. It's late here. I love you guys.
Get out. You don't have to make this about you. It's not about you.
Hey, hold on. This is his space here too.
We're
Paul.
talking to Lou. This is a serious moment. He's going to go into a whole fucking pitch and rap.
Amen. Jack, I'll be listening from the back. Have a good night, brother.
show. Thank you, Moose. Have a beautiful evening. God bless.
Producer never usually. Who's this
Enjoy the
Gelman
family.
now? He comes out every
I'm not
5
leaving.
minutes.
I'm watching you guys, you fuckers.
Just produce.
Hey,
Man. Do something other than insanity and anxiety.
Hey, much love. This is a good break, but it was a good interruption because Lou, seriously, man, you did the same bullshit with me. You place money on a value above relationships.
Because I don't want your money. I don't want her money.
That's not what I said.
I want to give her money. I want her to have more money. I want her to be more.
No, he's
successful.
saying, Jack, in his mind that he was calling her a dummy because he would rather her be in a better financial position. What he doesn't understand with the male chimpanzee is it's cart before the horse. You need to be in a better.
Can't we have
be in a better position internally before you worry about providing her a place you all can't get along, so she could be in a better position financially. So one comes before the other. Charity starts in the home. We're practicing what we preach here, right, Lou? So don't call her dumb. Call her a woman who's on her own, and she's going to learn about life and the value of a dollar and all the rest of it. Even though the dollar is valueless, you get what I'm saying.
Hey, let him respond.
Can
Paul.
we not? My view. This is my ideal in my own crazy mind. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know. My ideal situation would be that if she stays here, she's number one, save money. I get it.
Happening.
And
Stop
number
right
two,
there.
can
Stop
I
right there.
finish?
The best
Can I
therapist
finish?
would have just told you. Stop
Can I
right there.
fucking
Because-
finish?
Okay,
I
Lou.
didn't hear the rest.
Lou.
Why are you telling us about the ideal situation that we all have in our mind when we're not the ideal men and women in each other's relationships with our family? It's a ridiculous conversation. We're off in our imagination. He just put the clip up, imagination segment, right? Let's all talk about our ideal utopia that we can't create one-on-one at home. Foolishness. Let's talk
that's
about
the
how we're
part
going to
that
create
you're not
that.
letting me say. My ideal would be that we can, now that this is out and on the table, that we could spend time and actually maybe set up a time where once a week, I don't know, whatever, where we have a talk and we work things out and we learn how to work together better. Better for her, better for me. And at the same time, she can save money. For me, when she leaves, I'm going to make more money.
You're
What's
still in
wrong
the
with
space.
that? Why not have
You're-
both?
Right. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're still in the space of what you want and don't want, and it causes you to act out and say things you don't mean, like the dummy's leaving. So if you get away from what the fuck if you just get away from
bullshit,
if
That's
you
'cause
just get away
He's
from
on
what
point.
you want
Paul
and
is
don't
on
want
point,
to
bro.
what needs to happen for everyone, we can all free up our internal space and do what needs to be done.
You wanting that so bad, you just called her a dummy, showing that you have some type of feelings and mislabeled feelings and emotions about it. Paul,
Yeah, that might be
Here.
true. That might be
Hold
true.
on.
And I'm open to work it out. That's the point.
Well,
right?
it's
Okay,
precisely
well, here-
because there are resentments there that you all can't get along, and that's a small piece that reveals a resentment, right? even if it's half joking with the Italians, there's a truth in every jest. You both have shown you have resentments. You need to be away from each other to get back to a place where you could be thankful and grateful and communicate from a distance.
It's
I didn't
logical.
say
Hold on.
stop talking. I'm saying you don't work under the same roof at this time.
It's logical.
And that's fine. And for
Hold
me,
on, Lou.
it'll be better
please.
because I love to be alone. I'm actually very
Christ.
happy alone. Sorry,
Lou.
John, go ahead. Sorry.
Paul, you've given your advice. Lou has not listened, and here
Yes,
you
I
can
have.
shut up. You have not, dude. You have
about?
not.
I'm
You
taking it all in.
Lou, stop fucking lying.
You're fighting every step of the way, Lou.
Fuck, man. You can't fucking win for losing.
You ready to
Your
ride?
nose is growing, Lou.
Well, hold on. I actually have some disagreements with the solution that Paul is describing. While I get the intentions, Lou, you're fucking making this so difficult. Okay, every one of us do, and Lou, you're just an example.
Hold on, maybe I'm not making what the situation with my daughter or something else. I'm not sure right now.
I'm not sure yet either.
You're making your life more difficult than it needs to be. It's apparent in your daughter, what I understand of your relationship with your daughter, and it's apparent in our relationship, you and me, Lou.
Okay.
So
All right.
So you said you had a difference between Paul, what Paul said. You said you had a disagreement there. I thought it was very sound and solid.
Where Paul pointed out is sound advice about if you can't fucking figure it out, separate, right?
Actually, it went even further. He is saying that you will be healed by the separation.
Right.
You took it a step further.
No, what I'm also saying is because we need more clarity, because then they'll fucking say, the reason for the separation is much like I talked about before, going to treatment. The separation is not where the healing comes. It's the work you do while you're separated, which again, then you have to go back and get triggered again and see how you respond.
Agreed.
So it's a long game, right? Because it's easy to go off on your own, do work on yourself, and then feel like everything's great. Well, that's not where the power is. The power is being up under the roof, having things go bad, and seeing how motherfuckers respond.
That's the
roof of the goal. That's why I believe with her leaving, it's going to make it harder.
Okay,
she's not going to.
No,
she's not going to come here.
And I'll tell you why.
Please get to my
Jack,
point.
Okay. So it has to be all about Jack right now because
it is.
Well, Paul, you fucking
let him get his point out at least.
To my point.
Yes, let him get his point up.
Jesus.
First, and then
there's value in what Paul is saying in the separation and heal yourself, and it does come from the work. There's no disagreements there, but it doesn't have to take forever. You don't have to set up weekly scheduling appointments and picture this shit taking 14 years like this, like the society.
You're projecting your own.
I'm preaching something differently, Paul.
You're projecting your own.
Let him finish.
He's clearly projecting his own issues onto the patient, so to speak. You can't do that. You have to
get it out at least.
Space.
Actually, Paul, you're describing yourself.
We don't get to choose how long this takes. You're not in control.
You are absolutely projecting yourself onto me, Paul, right here, right now.
Where did Paul go?
I'm doing that to Lou. I put him in the back, Lou, so I can fucking try and speak.
Okay.
So I actually know what I'm talking about when given the opportunity. And if you consider the words, you'll find the truth. But this constant disagreement is just pointless. And
Paul was dead accurate at everything he said, in my opinion.
Okay, here's what I wanted to point out. It's very, very fucking simple. The change can happen starting today. When you choose to fucking change the situation, you change what is within you, and you break those patterns of thought where you keep saying, this is going to be a long time, or it'll never heal, or I'll never understand. You've got to break your own damn loops.
Paul, I'm not Paul. Jack, was that you earlier that I was talking to that was saying you see where you do have to separate from a person sometime. I think you made that argument earlier yourself. As to these guys that troll you or whatever, you do have to separate yourself from some time after you've taken so much.
But Joe, it can change like that. As soon
I
as
agree.
you change, as soon as you choose to detach from the frustration, the anger, the conflict, as soon as you choose to detach, it's done.
I agree.
And
But you
then
haven't done that.
who hasn't?
No one.
Well, I know my
Who hasn't? I
experience.
didn't catch that, Paul. Who hasn't?
Jack shows over and over again he's not detached himself from these events, that he's depersonalized from these events, and that is what
He's
causes
right
the
again.
cycling of control and confusion.
Yeah.
Well, you're creating a distinction
can't talk
for the
about
purpose of
healthy family
disagreement.
dynamics when you don't have any
You
to point
presented no relevance other than a string of words.
No,
Paul.
I'm telling you, you can't identify with your 14-year nightmare and project it onto Lou. Whatever you were saying,
Hey, Paul,
you're clearly in an angry,
you're
triggered space.
accusing
You're
me
not
of
giving
something with no specificity. Please point out
You're
what
even
you
doing it now.
accuse me
You're
of
getting
projecting.
angry. Your
Jack.
crowds
Listen for
are
a
going
minute.
down. You're getting controlling. You're putting me in the back. It happens
Look
every
at your
time.
And
behavior,
it's
dude. You're not
indicative of
cooperating. You're being disrespectful.
I don't have to cooperate with
Really?
you. That's
Listen
not
for a
detachment.
minute, Jack.
You're a big fucking
Can
Paul
I get a
enabler.
second?
Why
Listen,
do I
a
have
lot
to
of this.
cooperate with anyone here rather than just be myself like everyone else is?
Well,
Who else
because this is my show, and the purpose of my channel
That's not
is
a
to
reason.
share what I know, not to be fucking belittled and insulted and
Jack, you want to
accused.
grow. Jack, you want to grow. You
Let
want
me
to grow.
say this. Let me say this. Coming from a different
There's no,
messenger.
hold on, Joe, just a moment. Scott, there's no fucking growth being shown when Paul just keeps looping and repeating and repeating and repeating his goddamn nonsense.
Has
Then
that
you
been?
haven't.
Scott, if
Go
you
ahead.
check yourself and really step back and see what's going on here, you'll
looking.
find out that I am demonstrating a peaceful man.
No, you're not. You're demonstrating what Paul
Really,
said.
really,
You're getting. Yes. Wait.
so
Let me
Joe,
say the
you're
whole thing
ignoring
before
all
you.
the
Let me
facts.
say the whole thing before you debate it.
All right.
You are demonstrating that you are not disassociated yourself from this thing that we were just talking about.
Stop
It
it, Joe.
still
You're
gets you
fucking high. Hold on,
emotional,
hold on.
and you drop
Paul
it.
has tried to speak 6 times in less than 20 minutes and been cut off and rolled over.
How
like
many
this guy's doing
times
right
have
now.
I tried to speak? Have you kept track
Yeah.
of that, asshole?
Oh, Jack, you're not
What
loving it.
the dear? This is crazy,
6
man.
times in 20 minutes,
This
Jack
is
has tried to speak.
insanity. Hey,
6
you
times.
know
I'm
what?
sitting here counting.
Yeah,
I'm watching this Paul guy get involved in
Where
utter.
are you? All right. God bless. Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining tonight. This is not what I intended nor expected. I thought we could have adult conversations on a Friday night with a man like me, a man of peace and faith. I don't present any religions other than God, other than love, other than the empowerment that truth brings. I'm here sharing our time. Moose and I, we're committed ourselves to a schedule to growing what we can do in our production, and we want to offer good things for you. We want value to be shared with you. So I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to hide my disappointment. Tonight did not go as I'd hoped, particularly with some of the people who showed up. I hold many of them with respect, and I think that's clear. But for whatever reason, this is evidence of my life, and this is evidence of others who desire to withhold respect, withhold the care of simply the offering of attention and time, so that I might have a chance to do what we committed ourselves to do today, which is share value for you. So we're growing and learning. I hope you found entertainment, perhaps some inspiration, and hopefully some encouragement. because we are here. If you want to follow the way, if you want to claim to be a Christian, then your purpose here today is just like mine. We're here to share the praise of God. We're here to share the healing that comes through forgiveness and through leadership, through compassion, through generosity, through service. So, brothers and sisters, find forgiveness for yourself. Find forgiveness for those around and those who have been, so that we can have gratitude for the day. Again, Friday night, holy cows, it might still be early enough. Maybe I'll go downtown and see what's what. Thanks for tuning in again. God bless, brothers and sisters. Until tomorrow night, 5:30, I think.